I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? Are you kidding me? This is a jitty. It looks like Saquon Barkley, John.
I don't know. You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sauce.
Let's listen to some Paul Wall.
Yeah, it's good for you. It's got vitamins, niacin. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Yes, happy Thursday morning to you all. Hope you all had a nice Wednesday. I had a good one. Having a nice little stretch here, which was needed. This baseball season, for the most part, has been terrible for me. But yeah, had a good day today. I'm having quite the week. Episodes brought to you by PrizePicks. Shout out to PrizePicks. Boston just botched a routine ground ball to shortstop in the bottom of the seventh. Sorry, 2 outs. A lot of things. But yeah, TV Jones, how was your Wednesday?
Pretty solid. Barring, I do have this Boston live out here, but shout out the friggin' White Sox. I told you they're coming to split the series. Easy dub. And
easy dub,
the Orioles.
Bro. I was on White Sox too.
Mean,
easy dub. Oh, you're making a joke. I was gonna say there was nothing easy about our White Sox win there.
No. And then I play my Brew Crew and Diamondbacks. So not too shabby so far. Brewers, though, I will say, I thought Drone was getting traded. They're just pushing everybody back a day. So we have an off day tomorrow, and then so extra rest day. No, it's fine. Who gives a shit about the Giants? We're still.
Oh no, yeah.
As of right now, best record or tied for best record in baseball, barring whatever the Dodgers do tonight. But I'm not too worried about it. We're going to be fine.
It's you gave up 2 touchdowns to the San Francisco Giants. I'd be a little
bit. Day game. Wind was
Schmidt,
blowing out.
Without
nice
Schmidt,
weather.
Without Schmidt and without Chapman.
Yeah, who cares? It happens to the best of us.
And the worst of us. Spoon, how was your day?
Solid day so far. I'm sitting 2-2. I got in on the Red Sox live down a run, like plus 165. I'm sweating that one out. Up a couple units right now, so it should be a good day.
A's just singled. Yeah, I'm also on Red Sox, but it's like my small. It's not a bet I really care about.
I gotta leave. My whole computer's like freaking
Trevor's
out. I'll be back
frozen.
in like a minute.
Toast, how was your day?
I went 5-2, plus almost 2 units because I was on Arizona, Baltimore. I actually bet Baltimore plus 150 last night, then added them another quarter unit at plus 170. So that was a really nice hit. Between Baltimore and the White Sox, I had a great day and a very, very lucky day, to say the least. But I will take it.
Yeah. Wow. Looks like we all had good days today. Let's keep that rolling. First up, we'll wait for TV Jones to come back. But first up, we got Texas, Tampa. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I had the Rays also today.
Mm-hmm.
Cole win against Shane O'Mac. Spoon, your boy is on the mound. Seems like a pretty affordable price to get Shane O'Mac. Do you not agree?
It does seem like a affordable price to get Shane O'Mac. This Texas team has been destroying lefties here recently, though. Didn't do too much today, but coming into that, they got 2 off K, 5 off Schultz, 5 off Detmers, 5 off Valdez, 2 off Cantillo, 4 off Messick, 5 off Corbin, 6 off Early. They're putting big numbers up on some pretty decent pitchers right now. If your name's not Chris Sale, and 100% Shane McClanahan might be in that class, but I'm not convinced he's 100% yet. I have a little bit of trepidation trying to back him right here in this spot, but this Tampa Bay team is so good at home. I still think this number should be closer to minus 150 with the caliber pitcher that Shane O'Mac is on the mound. On the opposite side, just really feel like we can kind of go at a younger pitcher. It's going to be somewhat of a bullpen type day. I don't know. It seems like a short price. I haven't moved on it yet. It's awfully fishy.
TV Jones is back. You're not taking the Rays, but you lean that way.
Yeah, you can put me up Rays on the board. I won't be surprised to actually move on it by tomorrow. I'm just scared.
Where are you at, Jones?
Do you guys know it's not Eovaldi?
Yeah, it's Cole Winn.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, I think we were finding this out on me and scientists were doing my show, and he ended up getting 125 on the Rays. So He's in on it. I didn't move on it, but I think I'd play it up to like 140-ish, given its win. But the Rays offense hasn't looked particularly well since the All-Star break, so that's a little worrisome, and the Rays have. Yeah, bullpen, I mean, 20 for Baker, but still, usable. And then you'll have Boozer and Steven Matz available. Roycroft has been all right, so I think they'll be all right, but I'm not I don't know if I really want to get in at this price anymore.
Toast?
I've already bet the Rays. I'm not going to overthink this one. We got the Rays at home, which has been fantastic. Shane O'Mac's been blown up twice at home this year. Besides that, he's been very, very good. I know that the Rangers have been really good versus left-handed pitching, but I mean, Spoon went through it. I would argue that all those guys are mediocre. I mean, Detmers and Valdez, those names are big, but they also have blow-ups there. I feel like some of those numbers are, like I like to say, empty calories. I agree. I know that they're good versus lefties, but Shane O'Mac at home under 130 with a fully rested bullpen behind him. I feel like you're asking a lot from one of the worst units in Major League Baseball, from the Texas bullpen, to go out there and pitch 9 innings. So, yeah, I've already bet Tampa Bay. I just think it's too cheap.
You gave me this.
Do you have anything official on a primary for Texas tomorrow? I mean, Wynn's obviously not going to go out there and give you more than an inning and a half.
I don't know. I would assume you see some Marco Gonzalez in there.
Tyler Alexander.
Yeah, between those two.
Toast gave me the same speech yesterday about the Rangers are empty calories against lefties, and I listened and bet Rays money line, and it won. And they scored 0 runs off of Seymour. So maybe I should just listen. What'd you get the Rays at, Toast?
127.
Can I still get that?
You can get 130.
If I can still get that 127, I'm in. But not a penny more. Minus 130.
Oh, too much.
No, that still should be playable. I mean, what's the?
I was joking. I thought 140 was.
Wait. Yeah, nah. I'll say Razor pass. I'm not pushing my luck. I don't think the Rays are very good, but. Also, Shane McClanahan's one of those guys that we've seen, kind of like the Joe Ryan effect. Oh, by the way, the results of that poll, 70% Rays, 18% Rangers. No one is betting Texas there. I will not be betting this. McClanahan I remember he was one of those guys like the Joe Ryan effect that's just considerably better in the first half of the season. I don't know if I'm misremembering that, or they just severely dialed back his innings in the second half of the year. So I don't know.
You remember that part correctly. They've always played it safe with his innings, especially in his younger days. But, I mean, he's had a late start to the season and everything. I don't think you'll see anything dialed back as far as the second half goes for him.
Yeah, I'm good. What about the Royals against Bailey Ober here, Toast?
Man, kind of the same situation as today. I didn't play Kansas City. Obviously, I wish I would have because they have won, but I just don't feel like the Twins should be this big a favorite versus anybody right now. Bailey Ober has been mediocre at best, to say the least. I mean, it's 81 innings. I know that he's dealt with injuries and whatnot, but the 125 whip is somewhat decent, but it's a 442 expected. He's not striking anybody out. He doesn't get any swing and miss. He doesn't get any ground balls. I feel like this Kansas City team can score some runs against him. And as far as Noah Cameron's concerned, not in love with him at all, but he definitely has a whole bunch of blowups on his record. But I just feel like this Twins team is really, really overrated right now. And I don't think that they were ever going to perform at the level that they once were. I think that Noah Cameron can keep them into this game. And if that's the case, you're getting a nice plus price with Kansas City. I'm not paying it, but I just couldn't figure out a way to make Minnesota a considerable favorite and then actually bet them. So I have this game closer to a pick, in my opinion, like maybe 115 Minnesota.
I might go right back to the same thing I placed today. This was the most sweat-free bet of my day. Twins team total under 4.5, minus 102. They got shut out. I don't think they even had a runner on
Obnick is him.
I don't think they even had a runner on second in the game. I think the Twins line is Buxton still out, right?
Yeah, he guys on the 10-day.
Yeah, Buxton's on the 10-day. Without Buxton, I don't trust this Twins lineup to do shit. And they're favored with a 9.5 total. I think I would just do the same exact thing I did last night. What do you think, TV Jones?
Fountains up here, Royals. I mean, I'm kicking myself. I literally was going to place this live, and then Tolbert hit that home run. I'm like, shit. I'm not playing plus 109, which I should have. But I told you, Joe Ryan sucks. I told you guys I'm going to make up the shirts and the hats. And I'm gonna have him because he sucks. I've been right this whole time. You guys have been fooled. The guy is trash. Just don't even look at the numbers. You just look at the guy. Like that mustache, it sucks. Which sucks is I'm a mustache guy, and it's
he's got the same fucking mustache as you.
Same thing. Look at the mirror.
Mine goes dips. His is straight across like a psychopath.
God.
But regardless, Noah Cameron has at least shown flashes lately of pitching well. I mean, I'm sorry, pulling him up right here. Last game, 7 innings, 0 earned, and an L, 1-2 to Detroit. Got hit up by San Diego and Baltimore, but Philly went 5 innings, 1 earned. So prior to that, it was awful all season. 2 of the last 4, he's had good outings. And this is very similar to those teams. Philly can't hit, one of the worst teams in baseball. And then Detroit, arguably, again, not a bottom 10 offensive unit. So I think this is exactly what he needs. The bullpen's completely fresh and good to go. Outside of somebody's on back-to-back here. What's his nuts? Steven Cruz and Daniel Lynch. So bullpen's good. Not that it's good to go, but the last 7 days, 2.79 ERA, 1.4 WHIP in 5 games. So very recent status. It's been good, and the Twins' offense is trash. So give me the Royals here money line. I've already bet it.
TV Jones taking shots at Joe Ryan's mustache. You have the same exact mustache, dude.
No, that's got to be an all. I literally just looked at it again today.
It's the same thing, bro. You have the same mustache, and you were making fun of his mustache. You have the same one.
No. I saw a different picture today. Hold on. I saw a different picture.
He has the same mustache as you, bro. Like exact same.
Nah. Oh, when he smiles, it goes straight. Okay, never mind. That's my apologies.
Yeah, that's what happens when you smile. Your mouth.
No, never mind. Yeah. This is
move on.
Let's carry on. My Joe Ryan hate still stands. My Joe Ryan hate still stands.
Dude was sitting there roasting his own fucking mustache. Spoon.
I saw a different picture.
So it's not that I really disagree with these guys going on the Royals. I don't necessarily trust the Royals to hit Bailey Ober. I'd rather go under or back to the Twins team total under. Where are you at with this one?
I went back and forth with this full game under, and I just kept getting hung up on Kansas City's bullpen. It's just so bad that, like, if you can get over the hurdle of trusting Bailey Ober, which is a struggle in itself, but you have Kansas City's offense on the other side. We rewind a month. He was going out there giving you quality starts every time. He had a 9-inning shutout versus Miami. I think he can start to get back towards that. And Noah Cameron, he's definitely been more than serviceable versus bad offenses. Yes, he's had a couple bad starts, but as bad as the Twins are without Buxton versus left-handed pitching, I think he's going to go out there and have a good game. I took the under 2.5 first 3 at plus 120. I think that closes minus 110. I think you're going to have a low-scoring affair here. I don't want anything to do with bullpens. By just keeping it at the first 3, you only have one time through the lineup. I like that with both these pitchers that I have a little bit of question marks with. Big plus money price here. I think it closes well.
I'm going right back. I'm not even overthinking it. I'm going right back to the same exact thing I took today. Twins team total under. Like, what can I get? Plus 110 on 4.5. Yeah. I don't understand how we see the Twins getting to 5 runs here, especially when they have an above 50% probability of not even batting in the bottom of the 9th. Yeah.
Dude, the Red Sox are just so irritating right now.
Dude, yeah, why do they go to the most offensive-friendly park and just don't know how to hit?
They got a guy on second base because of a hit by a pitch and a balk, and then strikeout swinging, and now they're bringing in Basso. Yo.
Sorry to hold up the show. I wanted to get this bet in.
I was trying to fill it as much as possible by complaining, but
all right. Twins team. So I'm not going to take the time to type it on the screen. I just bet Twins team total under 4.5 plus 110 is what I just bet. Twins team
also
total. Yeah.
Spoon. Side note: Ethan Salas on base 4 times a night in AAA in his debut.
Let's go. I'm excited to see him come up. Maybe an appearance in the major leagues before the end of the year. Probably not.
Our poll was heavy on Kansas City there. No one wants to bet
Bunch
the
of
Twins.
sharps.
Yankees, White Sox. Shout out White Sox, Jones. Was a big one for us. Oh, yeah. Toast is on White Sox, too. And Spoon won because he was on Yankees first 5.
It was free.
Yeah, we all got that.
Thread the needle.
So Weathers against Sean Burke. Priced around a coin flip. Let me get the bullpen arms up because the way the Yankees bats are hitting, I don't think this should be a coin flip. Sean Burke's having a great season. I think the White Sox should be short favorites here. Is anybody in disagreement of that?
I am.
You're going Yankees?
If I get the Yankees at 105 or better, yes. Yes. You're going to see the bullpens in a minute. The reason I wanted to focus on the bullpens kind of for a second, because I think these are both very good units, and we've been kind of playing off of that. And I just don't love the situation for the White Sox in this game with Hudson 2 of the last 3 and 35 plus pitches, Grant Taylor on 26, and Jordan Hicks on back-to-back days with almost 40 pitches total. Those are like 3 of your top 4 arms in that White Sox bullpen. A little bit compromised. That's not me trying to take anything away from what Sean Burke has been doing, because he's been absolutely fantastic. It's been over 93 innings with a 119 whip, a 352 expected. He strikes out people. He doesn't walk anybody. There's nothing I can say bad about him. The ground ball rate is a little bit concerning. I will give you that. He doesn't get a whole bunch of swinging strikes, but I guess my point to all that is that I don't think that Ryan Weathers is that much of a downgrade. I would almost call this a wash as far as starting pitches is concerned, because Ryan Weathers has pitched a whole bunch of innings, over 108 innings with a 127 whip and a 341 Sierra. I mean, he strikes everybody out. He doesn't walk anybody. He gets a whole bunch of ground balls. I don't think that the White Sox are going to have much success against Ryan Weathers tomorrow. I know that this White Sox offense can be really fun, but I think that they've shown enough over the last month or so that they have really struggled versus left-handed pitching. I know they got 3 against Max Fried early, and then they didn't do diddly poo. I just feel like the Yankees have a kind of, I don't want to say a major, but a pretty decent pitching advantage in this game with the starting and bullpen combined. And sure, the White Sox offense is probably a little bit better than that. But again, I'm going to be getting probably plus 105 if I bet this. I really want to bet the Yankees. I just need the price to be right.
So here's the thing. So yes, what you're saying about the White Sox against recent lefties, it has some weight. They haven't been that good against lefty starters recently. But what am I going to say, Toast? Look at the names. I'm like, all right, yeah, they got to Max Fried. It was his first start back. They scored 2 runs on Corbin. Then before that, they didn't get to a bunch of lefties in a row. Gage Jump's got a lot of talent. With Jacob Lopez, that's only an inning and a third. That's not an actual start. Bennett, 7 shutout. Bennett's been awesome. Peyton Tolley's been awesome. Parker Messick 2 times in a row. Parker Messick's been great. Scooble, he's pretty good. Weathers, 6 innings, 1 run. Rodon, Chris Sale. I mean, so yes, I get it. These game logs don't look great for the White Sox against left-handed pitching. They've seen a lot of really good lefty starters recently. TV Jones, I know you're about to take the White Sox.
Obviously, someone said they in one of the comments for somebody's video, they thanked me for the entire city of Chicago thanks me for my being a White Sox fan, and thank you, because this team is fantastic. I love this team. Talk about grinding out a win. I mean, you're getting kicked in the dick. Shitler's shitting all over you. I mean, it's not going great. And then you get a little spark there in the 6th inning, 7th inning. You kick him out of the game. Yeah, I mean, that you should have got another hit or sent the guy on third. But regardless, they kept grinding. You know what the Yankees kept doing? Nothing. They scored in the 1st inning, and they needed extra innings to get 1 more run, and they needed 2 extra innings to get the run. I mean, this team is hot trash. I mean, Ali Sanchez, shout out you for being an absolute moron, throwing the ball to third base with 2 outs. Like, what are you doing? But, you know, that's just what the White Sox affect. They get in your head, and you think you need to get that out any way you can, and you made an error. White Sox come back and win. So, White Sox win here again. The bullpen, sure, you could argue has a little bit of usage, but you're going to have Newcomb and Dominguez completely available. Shout out Jordan Hicks. Just getting out of that bases loaded jam, which, you know, you could argue really wasn't a jam, because were the Yankees ever going to actually get a hit that mattered? No. So White Sox here, money line. I'm already going to be moving on this 115. I make it minus 113 White Sox, so I'm basically right there.
So is that 2 days in a row, TV Jones, where the Yankees scored 3 or 4 runs immediately and then didn't do shit the rest of the game? Yeah,
that's all they do. They need to score 7 in an inning and like pray to God that they can hold on to that lead.
Well, first
also,
off,
the bullpen does have some usage too for them.
not really.
I mean, a little bit, but those guys that will come back, if they do come in, they'll be on 2 or 3 also. And the White Sox have already seen them. So
first of all, I just bet this, which I saw you in the comments, Sports Scientist Jacob, and I agree. So I'm telling you on this, I agree with it. So let me put that on the screen because I just bet it. I'm also not opposed to adding the White Sox as well, or the White Sox first 5. But I just bet this first 5 under 4.5 minus 130. Just bet that. Spoon, where are you at on this one?
I agree with the undertake that you just threw up there. The first 5 under, the first 3 under, and the full game under. I've kind of stayed off this, kind of looking at the bullpen situation. Not sure what they're going to expect from guys, but Bednar pitched on 4 or 5 days before today. Even though he had today off, I'm not sure he's ready to go tomorrow. So the whole New York bullpen is just an absolute mess. Makes me think Ryan Weathers is going to be asked to go a little bit deep into this game. And then same thing for the White Sox. Hudson is on 2 of 3. Grant Taylor, when he throws 26, is not going to be available the next day. Those are the 2 best arms. Jordan Hicks has closer experience, is on 3 of 4. He's a mess, not in there. So I feel like both of these teams are going to rely heavily on their starters. Sean Burke has obviously just pitched his dick off, but it's been some kind of weak opponents that he's seen. Toronto, one of the worst offenses in baseball right now. The Athletics on the road, terrible. Cleveland without Jose Ramirez twice. Just 2 earned runs versus Baltimore, but it's not like he's facing the best opponents, and you can put the Yankees right there in that. This offense without Judge has been pretty bad, but he probably pitches well. I kind of lean to the Yankees here full game. I think that the Yankees have more pieces to be able to press in there in those late innings, and I think Ryan Withers can pretty much go toe-to-toe, but I like that first 5 under, and I like Yankees money line.
Damn. All right. So I got a lot of pictures here for Spoon. So Spoon likes the first 5 under, the full game under, the first 3 under, and the Yankees money line. Which of those are you betting, Spoon?
Probably the first 5 or the first 3.
All right. To be honest, as we looked at this more, I think I did start to swing towards the Yankee side a little bit. Because I actually like the Yankees bullpen situation more than you guys made it out to be. I don't think this Yankees bullpen is that bad. Weathers is going to give you 6.
I don't think so either. I'm not worried about Bednar with only 5 pitches.
I don't even care about him because I could see him having 2 days. He went 4 out of 5 before that. But in the way I see it, Weathers is going to give you 6, and then you got 7, 8, 9 right here. So you got 3 of their main arms available. Meanwhile, they're not going to pitch Grant Taylor after 26 pitches. No. Hudson, 2 of the last 3 that you're going to give the Yankees another look at him. He's probably available.
This is a big series.
No Hicks. Richards. I mean, this is the bullpen that I think is lacking in arms a little bit.
Hold on. Do the White Sox play the next day, or do they off? They do. They go to the Rays. But I think this is a sellout series. I mean, this is the Yankees, who everybody's kind of crowning as the AL champs. This is a measuring stick series. I told you that. They're coming to split it here tomorrow. I think everybody's available outside of Hicks and Taylor. I think everybody's going to go if need be tomorrow.
So the Cubs 1 hit in 9 regulation innings today. 1. They
Dustin
1 hit.
May, Himothy.
PCA did hit a 2-run home run in the 10th inning. Didn't matter because the Cubs choked it away. Honestly, I'm a sucker for letting you guys talk me into betting the Cubs, honestly. So it's on me. I actually have to take a piss. I don't even care about this team.
It's a win. It was a win-win for me. I didn't bet it, but if I did, it would have been a win-win.
I mean, I've won with the Cubs like 4 times the last week. I could really care less about this one, not to mention I'm up like 2 units today. So Spoon, you can kick us off since the main guy had to go potty. Javier Assad, Andre Palante, Cubs at plus money. I don't know how you pass it down, and I'm being serious.
Yeah, just Cubs blind here. Javier Assad, obviously a little bit of step down in pitching from Matthew Boyd today, but Matthew Boyd went out there, had a great day, saved the bullpen from having to really get in a stretch situation. You look at the Cardinals, they had to use 5 arms today. The Cubs just had to use 3. It would have been nice to watch them pull that game out there at the end, but what happens, and Assad is starting to get a little more comfortable out there. We've seen him 4 or 5 times here recently trying to get stretched out into somewhat of a starter or a primary role, and he's not given up runs versus Pittsburgh, Detroit, 2 to Cincinnati, blank St. Louis. I think since the break, Assad looks decent, and this Cardinals offense is just bad. I know the Cubs didn't put up much runs today, but I think they can get some runs off Palante tomorrow. I like Cubs at plus money here. I mean, just blind.
Yeah, I'll let you go, TV Jones, in 1 second. I agree. I just wanted to point out that it's not necessarily a fade of Palante, who's actually been a lot better than probably anybody wants to realize. It's over 112 innings, so he's really eating innings, and a 112 whip and a 363 expected ERA. He's been a lot better than people give him credit for it. I just wanted to make that known. A lot of his disciplinary stuff, as far as like swinging strikes and chase rate and all that stuff, isn't great, but he does get a whole bunch of ground balls, which kind of makes up for some of that. So I just wanted to point that out. But regardless, I still think that the Cubs have multiple advantages in this game, and their offense, even though they didn't show up tonight, is still head and shoulders better. And even though that the Cubs offense didn't show up tonight, the St. Louis offense didn't either. It was a bullpen blow.
They're awful. They're awful.
They're absolutely terrible. So I think both these pitchers can pitch well. I don't hate an under in this game, if I'm being honest, but I think the Cubs at plus money, I just don't understand. I haven't understood the Cubs price in a week.
They are getting the market is not buying the recent resurgence of the Cubs bats. And after watching today, me neither. Yeah, I'm with you.
You're the one time that you're
yeah, or the one time I bet them, they have 1 hit. TV Jones, what's up? I mean, honestly, Jones, I'm pissed at the Cubs too. Your team got beat by 2 touchdowns today to the Giants without Schmidt and without Chapman. I don't timing, bro. Read the room.
Read the room. Read the standings. Okay, 5.5 game lead. Tied for the best record in baseball. Right now, life is good. So what? We had a little down day. It is what it is. But our first baseman did come in and hold it down for an inning. Just only gave up 3 earns, so not a big deal.
What is
but
the game, dog?
Sorry, no. Cardinals. I like Cardinals. Palante is great. I mean, ground ball guy. We saw what this Cubs offense did today. Nothing. And against Dustin May, Carrot Top had a great outing. Andre Palante, great ground ball guy, and Javier Assad has been a decent grounder guy as well. This Cardinals offense is also just, I mean, what are they going to do? Absolutely nothing anyway. So I don't hate an under, but I do think St. Louis finds a way to get to that Cubs bullpen. They haven't been, I mean, they've been great, post All-Star break here, but we know deep down they're not a good bullpen. St. Louis isn't great. I think an under is probably a better play, but I don't play totals, so I would just side with St. Louis here, but I won't be playing it.
I'm going to tail sports scientist Jacob again, who's put me on that first 5 under. I'm going to 4.5 plus 100. Let me just see if I can get any better than that. Is anyone else? The first 5 unders don't show up as clean on the odds screens. Sometimes I have to literally go look. Toast, you have to do that same thing. Oh my God, plus 113. Yeah.
I have a little app that helps me a little bit.
A little something.
It's a little something on the side. Been doing this show a little bit.
So with the fee, that probably comes out to be 1 plus 110. But I just got.
I was gonna say 108 was the best number I saw. So that
I just saw plus 113, but it was on Poly. So first 5 under. Next up, Pirates Reds. Toast, talk to us.
I mean, I guess it's for me. It's what do you think about Rhett Lauder? Because I feel like Pittsburgh is just the better team right now, and I feel like getting them close to a pick 'em is. I have Pittsburgh at minus 120 in this game. I think it's going to be like more of a bullpen type day for Pittsburgh, which can be kind of scary. I will give you that. But this Barco kid's going to be their primary. I'm not going to act like I know a ton about him, but he was pretty damn good for them. Or he's one of their higher prospects. I'm at a point right now with this Reds team that I feel like they've been kind of lucky right now, and their offense can't do anything. And this Pittsburgh team continues to be able to find ways to win and stay in games. I don't know. I just felt like Pittsburgh should be a little bit higher of a favorite in this game. I'm not betting it though.
I mean, Rhett Lauder has been. It's not having the strongest season.
No, and that's why I'm saying like I just don't understand why it's so cheap.
TV Jones, are you? Oh wow, Rhett Lauder actually pitched well his last time out. He pitched against the Cardinals, so that's a minor league lineup.
What's the difference with the Pirates?
What?
Come on.
I'm sorry. What have the Pirates done?
They're not the Cardinals.
The Pirates basically are the Cardinals right now.
Oh
the 83 WRC plus for the last 2 weeks versus righties, basically a 30% strikeout rate, 6% walk rate. I mean, on paper, they don't look good. Sure, they're winning some games, but I mean, you're playing the Cubs. The Yankees can't hit. I mean, Cleveland can't hit. Arizona, you bested them, but Brandon Pfaadt showed up and stopped that. So, I'm not going to say they're that great, but then you got to go against Rhett Lauder. I mean, he had the one good outing. I mean, I think if he's going to ever have a spot to look good, it's going to be against this current rendition of this Pirates offense, the way they're playing. Now you got to trust the Reds bullpen, which obviously is always sketch, but he just showed something great. Could he back it up here? I mean, you kind of hope so against a Pirates lineup that hasn't looked tremendous, in my opinion. So I think this is a red spot, but I don't have the stones to actually bet Rhett Lauder at this price. I need much bigger, but I do think the Reds find a way to get it done.
This is a situation for Rhett Lauder to get his lick back. He went on the road to Pittsburgh earlier this year, 1 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 8 runs.
If Rhett Lauder is trying to go on a tour to get his lick back, he's going to be pitching for a year and a half. Spoon?
I have a little bit of faith in Rhett Lauder. So he was coming out of the bullpen there, coming into that Colorado game. He comes into the Colorado game, gets the start, and just has 1 inning that melts apart there in the second. Gives up 8 earned, 11 hits. Manager came out, had a lot of positive words, said things that he liked that he saw. And he took that into the next game, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs versus St. Louis. Rhett Lauder has a chance at the starting gig right now. I think he continues to pitch decently. And I think he's going to keep the Reds in this game. I was looking at an under if I couldn't trust the Reds to score, but the Reds sitting plus money here, I think the Pirates are going to be in a spot where they've used every bullpen arm they have available. You have Hunter Barco as the primary tomorrow. This guy's not pitching past the 3rd inning in the last month down in AAA. I really don't think we're going to see a lot of innings from him, so it's going to be like 1 inning from an opener, Barco for 3, then you bring 4 other pitchers in to bring out the rest of the game. I think the Reds are going to be in a decent situation to win this game. I think they should be favorites here at home. I haven't moved on it, but I like the Reds at plus money.
The Cubs. I have no interest in this game. Pass. All right, let's move on to the PrizePicks segment.
I'm gonna fill my water bottle.
All right, let's see the screenshots here. Toast sent.
Bang. Contreras just got his. My PrizePicks just hit. Let's go.
Nice. Well, hopefully you can go for 2 in a row here. Let's see which one I pull up first. And the first one is Claude's. It's got Sal Stewart higher than 1.5 total bases, Jake Irvin higher than a half earned run allowed, and Grant Holmes higher than a half walk allowed. That's a Claude exclusive. Toast.
2 guys that I think have really good matchups tomorrow. Fernando Tatis, one of the hottest hitters in Major League Baseball, batting at the top of the lineup with a lineup that's absolutely cruising. He's actually getting on base multiple ways, so I like him tomorrow. And then Freddie Freeman in a really good matchup against Brian Wu on the road. Enough said. Those are my 2.
That's brought to you by PrizePicks. Play $5 to get $150 if you win. That's by using the promo code HMA. Link is also in the description. Marlins Mets. The Mets, they had plenty of opportunities to win that second one. They got the first one. Took a series against the Braves. You'll take it. Yuri Perez has been on fire. Do the Mets hit him, Toast?
Man, I don't think so. I know the Mets lineup has been heating up a little bit. I like them personally a little bit more versus left-handed pitching. My issue is I don't really love this Marlins bullpen, and I do think that I really want to bet the Marlins. I'll just put it out there. I think that the starting pitching is kind of a wash, to be dead honest. I think the Mets probably have a small offensive advantage. I mean, they've been better. There's no question about that. But I do think you obviously have to downgrade them without Soto. I don't think they're going to continue to hit as well. But you can also make the case for the Mets that I'm sure Kyle was about to, is that they've also seen some pretty decent right-handed pitching as well. I just feel like I just don't know what to get out of the Miami bullpen. I hate the fact that Fairbanks is on 3 of the last 4, so you're probably not going to see him, which is obviously their closer. And the Mets bullpen has been so very good for them, essentially almost all season. I really want to bet Miami, but I don't really have it convinced in my heart of hearts that that's the right side, if I'm being honest.
Where are you at on this one, Spoon?
I like Miami here as well. The Mets coming off the double header. Had to use just about every bullpen arm available today. You have 2 great starting pitchers, like combine their last 5 starts apiece. They've combined for 9 quality starts. You don't see that very often. Nolan McLean has seen some great competition too to go along with it. Dodgers, Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta. I mean, not really Toronto, but they're on that list. And Yuri Perez, I mean, the competition hasn't been as tough, but going into Sutter Health, where the Athletics play, going 7 innings pitched, 0 earned run, very impressive start. Same with that Rocky start going into Coors, just 1 earned run there. Then seen some weaker offenses. I like both of these guys to come out the gate and just deal. Nolan McLean is not somebody you can rely on for like a full 7 innings at this point in his career. I think it's going to be 6 innings and then 3 innings of that tax bullpen from today. I like the Marlins. I like the Marlins full game. You're not going to have Fairbanks available in the back end, but you have every other pitcher for them. It's plus 120, I think, is the best number I see available right now. I could move on that if I get a little bit more. I think I want 125 is what I'm going to circle.
Where are you at, Jones?
I kind of like the Marlins here. I mean, you got the Mets off a doubleheader. Granted, they don't travel, but coming in off a doubleheader, Yuri Perez has been pretty damn good. The Marlins stacking wins. I mean, they come off a down 6, win the game, cover the reverse run line even, and the Mets scored 3 total runs today, right? 3 or 4 total runs. I mean, they haven't looked great. And then now you got Yuri Perez. He's been pretty damn good lately. Unfortunately, he doesn't get any run support. And in the last 4 total runs of support, he gave up 5 earned through, 19 innings. So, I mean, he's been pretty solid. His strikeout numbers have looked pretty good overall lately, too. And the Mets have been striking out at a pretty decent clip the last 2 weeks for righties, near 27%. Nice fielding, Boston. And then Nolan McLean, I mean, Mr. Clean, yeah, he's been good. But they've also struggled to win his games, 3-3 in the last 3. I mean, he beat Atlanta, Toronto, and Philly all on the road. All the home starts, L's. So he's crumbling under the bright lights of New York and Queens. So, I mean, plus 110, I like the Marlins here. Their bullpen's going to be fine. Fulton and Fairbanks, you probably don't see, but everybody else is going to be available. Then the Mets basically spent everybody today. So I like the Marlins here at this price.
Only in TV Jones's world can you pitch at home versus the Dodgers and Red Sox and go 12 innings and give up 2 runs and strike out 13 guys and say he's crumbling under the lights.
Can't win the big one.
I think if I was to bet this one, I would go here. Yuri Perez has pitched great. He has not seen many good lineups. I mean, Padres, Brewers are a good lineup, but they haven't been all that explosive recently. Cleveland, Athletics, Rockies, Rangers, Blue Jays, Mets. That goes all the way back to May 22nd. So he's definitely had a fortunate schedule in terms of recent opponents. And McLean's been great, and he actually has seen some good lineups recently. but the Marlins seem to be coming alive a little bit offensively. I don't trust the Marlins bullpen. The Mets used all their arms in the doubleheader. I just feel like the 7 should be a 7.5, 8.
I feel like if the Marlins just didn't lose 12 games in a row or whatever it was, this number would be like Marlins plus 105 or something.
Perhaps. Yeah, the Red Sox are about to lose. Next up, Nationals Braves, Jake Irvin against Grant Holmes. Spoon, where are you at on this one?
I'm not really trying to back Jake Irvin here, making his first start back. This Washington offense obviously is an offense I do want to back. Grant Holmes has had a pretty good season. He's going out there giving you serviceable starts each and every time out there, but he hasn't seen Washington. And last time he did, he only gave up 2 earned runs. I think this time around they put a big number up on him. I think their bullpen surrenders some. And Jake Irvin, I think he gives up some runs to Atlanta. So I like this over each and every way I split it. You look at Atlanta's bullpen, and I mean, their numbers recently are really bad. We look at the arms and they have the pieces to be a great bullpen, but they're 25th in ERA over the last month in baseball. All of their arms went today. I like this over here.
The problem is I don't really know the Braves bats. Acuna's back. They did not look good at all in that Mets series. The only win in that Mets series was 1-0. Jake Irvin though, holy shit. Toast, where are you at with this one?
I want to bet the Nationals.
Yeah, that's where I was going too.
Just first and foremost, I'm always trying to look at the Nationals on the road because that's where they've been doing the most damage. 32-20 on the road this year. We're getting a huge plus price with, and Sauce just mentioned that this Braves offense that put up a couple big numbers over the last 2 weeks, but really is not an offense that's really going right now. And you can see in our game logs versus right-handed pitching, it's been kind of up and down. And some of the guys that they put big numbers off of, like Canning and Quantrill. I mean, I love Cal, but I mean, are we really impressed by that? No. That's not me trying to make a case that I think that Jake Irvin's a Cy Young candidate or anything like that. I just need him to go out there and give me 4 or 5 decent innings and keep us in the game, because I do think that Washington, I agree with Spoon, I do think that Washington can get to Grant Holmes. Grant Holmes hasn't been anything special this year. It's just under 100 innings with a 136 whip and a 740, a 470 ERA. He doesn't strike anybody out. He doesn't walk anybody. He doesn't get a whole bunch of ground balls. There's nothing special about him. Obviously, Atlanta has an advantage in the bullpen, yes, but they also played a doubleheader yesterday and have to travel and come back home. I don't put too much stock into teams playing a doubleheader and then the next day, but when you have to travel as well, I do think that comes into play a little bit. I'm getting a really big number with a team in Washington that's been very good, if not one of the best teams in baseball on the road this year. I will be betting Washington tomorrow.
Yeah,
Chapman with the big K.
Yeah, did you see that? Back-to-back big Ks.
Yeah.
He had McNeil chasing. Yeah.
And we're out of it.
Yeah, I know. They were 10th.
I was talking. I'm sorry.
I kind of agree with Toast. Where are you at, TV Jones?
Do you know the Spider-Man meme? These are both teams. No bullpen, all offense. I mean, this is going to be. I think.
Hold on, the Braves,
I think this
no
is
bullpen. They have like.
I'm sorry. The Braves bullpen's been good.
Maybe not in the last 2 weeks, but as a whole, it's been one of the best bullpens in the league.
What have you done for me lately, league? And it ain't much.
Their bullpen is 3rd in ERA this season.
Yeah, last 7 days, 765 with a
7
near 2
days,
whip.
that's
And
one
last
outing.
14 days at 6.6. Last 14 days, 660 ERA, 1.6 whip. They've gotten worse. And they played the Mets.
You're looking at full team bullpen numbers for the last 7 days. That's one outing per arm.
No, I just said the 14 days. They still have a 6.6 ERA, 12 homers. I mean, good luck against the Nationals team if you're giving up barrels and ding-dongs. I mean, Christ. Plus 130. Give me the Nationals. Also, the Nationals bullpen, last 14 days,
are you
4.14 ERA.
Do you realize
You
the
guys are
Braves bullpen, they threw in that one guy against the Mets. They gave up 11 runs in an inning. The garbage game.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. This is the bullpen. There's no I in bullpen.
It does matter
All
because
right?
when you're looking, even if you're looking at 30 days, that includes the All-Star break, which still throws everything
If
off.
you're looking at last 7 days, the Braves bullpen might be amazing if you just take out that one guy.
I've given you the last 2 weeks also. But y'all are skimming over that fact.
No, we're
I mean,
not. We're trying.
They're both bad, but the Nationals have been better. I mean, the last 5 games, a 2.92 ERA, 1 home run. Last 2 weeks, 5 home runs. The first 12 on the other side. Good luck against this Nationals bullpen. Plus 130. I make this Braves minus 113. Give me the Nats.
So all that you agree with us?
Yeah, I have the Nats scoring more, but just home field advantage. It's barely over a pick 'em.
I think I agree with the Nationals. What can I get? Plus
Jake Irvin's
130.
coming back from a shoulder injury. This is his first start in months. Like, he looked good in AAA. Generally, that's not a good sign for the pitcher coming up to the majors if you're that dialed in trying to be that good in AAA. I think Jake Irvin gets rocked tomorrow, guys.
I'm just gonna. I'm
not worried
passing.
about it. I'm not worried about Jake Irvin at
You
all.
can probably just take the over or team totals over if you don't want to dick around with it, any pitchers.
I think
Red Sox A's. This one's still going on. Any thoughts on Sonny Gray against Mason Barnett? Obviously, we don't know what both these two teams are in extras right now. Oh, did that hold
Andrew
on? Is that a home run?
Monasterio.
Let's
That-
go.
Former Milwaukee
That means jack
Brewers
shit.
still
I just
making
watched
noise.
this exact script with the Cubs game.
Yeah,
It ain't over, but
except the
that's
Red
just a
Sox
former Brewer making a
have
big
more
play.
heart than the Cubs.
Yeah, and a bullpen. They actually have bullpen arms.
well, they used all the good ones already, I think.
Spoon, any thoughts on Sonny Gray versus Barnett? Obviously, we don't know what arms are available and shit. Both teams kind of. Well, actually, I would imagine, without having anything open in front of me, I would imagine the A's bullpen is a little bit better rested because they didn't have Hogan Harris. They didn't have their main 2 arms available tonight, which is why I bet the Red Sox. So those 2 guys didn't pitch, so they should.
I can tell you right now, Chapman 2 of the last 3, Whitlock 2 of the last 3, Slayton 3 of the last 4. That's it. That's your top 3 arms, though, for Boston.
I still like Boston. I think Sonny Gray is having one of his best seasons. Maybe this is the kind of park that dishes him a little regression, but the way the health of the A's offense is right now, Kurtz left the game today, still without Langoliers. I mean, this every time you look, this offense just loses another important piece. And I just think the way Boston has been hitting coming into this series, I think the bats will eventually wake up. And why not versus Mason Barnett tomorrow? I think Sonny Gray puts him in a great situation. You only have to rely on maybe one long relief arm to finish the game out. I like Boston here. I haven't moved on this game or looked too deeply into it, obviously, because it's still going on. But there's no way I'm taking the A's tomorrow. And this is a team I like a lot.
The problem with Boston is that they used a bunch of their bullpen arms, and this ballpark's just wild. And I don't know if I would trust any lead in this ballpark with a shaky bullpen. Where are you at, Jones?
I like the under actually in this game. I mean, my my numbers have added under this whole time. I make this like just around 8 tomorrow, and I kind of believe it because I mean Boston's bull offense for some reason has showed up to the most hitter friendly park and can't perform. And the A's are now without Nick Kurtz. He got hurt tonight. No Bangoliers. It's a sad state of affairs in Sacktown. If you're an A's fan, A's bullpen, can't defend it one way or another. But I just have no faith in the. I mean, not that I don't have faith, but just as what we're seeing out of this Boston offense on a getaway day, it's a 4-game series.
Yeah, they play tomorrow. Or 4. It's a 4-game series.
It is a 4. Okay, so they stay. So, I mean, I think they'll be fine. But also, Sonny Gray coming off that bad outing, I think he responds here. This is obviously not a great park too, but he is a ground ball, soft contact guy. So I think he'll be fine. And this A's offense is just terrible right now. So it would be Boston money line if I had to play something, or run line. But I think under 10.5 is a bit too high, just given what we're seeing out of both these teams.
Where are you at here, Toast?
I over or pass. And the only reason that I say that is because of the bullpen situations. If Barnett is starting for the Athletics, that's one guy, and then they're gonna. I mean, it's just all their bad guys. I have zero interest betting this game. It doesn't matter what I have to say.
Yeah, I'm good on this one too. I didn't even like it last night, but we were doing the stream and I had to piss, and you guys talked me into it.
I was gonna say I feel like I got lucky. Hopefully we win tonight. I feel like I got lucky laying juice with Boston tonight. I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah, I had to piss at the end of last night's stream, and I didn't do it, and I ended up placing 2 bets, tailing you guys. And then after the show was over, I went and took a piss and sat down, and I was looking at the bets I placed, and I didn't like either of them, the Cubs and the Red Sox. Looks like we're going to get Red Sox, but the Cubs lost. So I make bad decisions.
Game's not over.
You didn't tell me on the Cubs. You can be annoyed at me because I'm a Cubs fan, but Toast was the one that was like run into the window on the Cubs yesterday.
I probably was more Toast, but it was your all of your energy together. Giants.
Hey, I wasn't like fighting tooth and nail for the Cubs. I just said I don't like them.
TV Jones, when there's a Cubs graphic under your name, you're fighting for them.
On record, I just heard TV Jones says, I like the Cubs. I'm going to need that on the quote board.
AI's out of control.
Toast, I got to say, is it just my perspective? This Giants-Padres is a great division rivalry. I feel like I don't remember them playing once this year. When's the last time we saw Giants? Why have we not seen Giants-Padres? When's the last time they played? It's been a while. Or maybe
no, you're right. They haven't played, I think, since May or something like that. Actually, I can tell you right now, actually. Yeah, like very beginning of May. So they haven't played in a very long time. So
these two teams are probably about to play 10 times in the next 30 days.
Yeah, the next month and a half, yeah. Look, I guess I lean Giants at this price.
Well, we know you hate JP Sears. You've been very vocal about it.
I do hate JP Sears. He has performed well. I would argue against some mediocre lineups and what have you. The Dodgers start looks really good, but the Miami start I'm not really impressed with, especially if it's only 3 innings. I know it might look good when you're glancing, but it's really not that impressive. Again, I'm just not a fan of JP Sears. If they figured something out with him, we'll continue to see, but until he has multiple games where he can at least get into the 6, I'm not really going to trust him as a starter. But for me, more than anything, it's just that I think that Robbie Ray is absolutely dealing right now, and I think that he can continue to deal against this Padres offense, who I like them much more versus right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. I'm on the train with them offensively. I'm not going to get off again. I'm here all year, the rest of the year. I'm not going to get off again, but I definitely don't love them as much versus left-handed pitching. And I'm laying juice here in a situation when Mason Miller's 3 of the last 4. Jeremiah Estrada pitched 22 in his first game back. I don't think he's going to be available tomorrow. Bradley Rodriguez, the star that I keep on telling you about, is on back-to-back days, and Kyle Hart's at 37. I just think that there's a lot of question marks in this Padres bullpen right now for them to be a road favorite in a divisional series when I don't think they have a starting pitching advantage.
Just want to clarify. I went and took a piss, then I came back and sat down. I did not. I want to confirm. Did not sit down to piss. I went and pissed, then came and sat down. Just want to make sure everyone's got the order of events down. So, TV Jones, I didn't hate what he was saying there, and the Padres bullpen is taxed. It makes a lot of sense, but we're involving trusting the Giants if they're going to win a game, they got to score runs. Do you share Toast's hatred of JP Sears?
The hatred part, seems a little vindictive. Like he did, like he's got a personal beef with him. But I mean, Searsy's been all right lately. I mean, the last 2, 8 and a third. Okay, Searsy. Sears Outlet Mall here. I mean, 1 earned the last 8 and a third in the last 2 outings. 3 strikeouts. Strikeouts aren't his game, but still. Overall, his starts, they're 3-3. It's the offense going to show up or not. Robbie Ray, I don't hate Robbie Ray. I mean, he's been damn good for a while. I mean, I've made some money off of him. He had a little skid there, but he's been solid for a hot minute now. Problem is the offense obviously sucks, but it has been win day for them since about May 24th. They've lost twice. What is that? 4, 8, 10. They're 10-2 since in that stretch. So I'm sorry, 10-1. In that 11-1, sorry, in that stretch. So they're pretty damn good. The offense showed up again today. This is a rivalry game. I think there's obviously going to be heated. No Mason Miller out of the bullpen, back-to-back days there. No way you throw him 3 days in a row if you're trying to trade him. And then, like he said, Rodriguez. So,
he always throws that in there, dude. He always throws it in there.
Well, hey, it can happen, man. Him and Scooble might be Brewers, and it's over. For all you fools.
Brewers, bro.
Yeah, well, my Scooble the Brewers ticket with positive ROI right now, return.
And you should sell it.
You might want to trade out of that.
No, but it is Giants money line for me in this one. I think they'll be fine. Bullpen not an issue. You're going to take Mason Miller out? I mean, shit, he could be out of the building by tomorrow night. But it is also home and away reversible bucket hat giveaway. First 40,000 fans. So there'll be about 3,000 upset San Diegans in the stands. So got to factor that in, that there won't be as much energy as usual. Given those 3,000 fans will be a little upset.
Either you guys betting this?
Very close.
I'm
waiting to see if the Padres take some money. I'm surprised because TV Jones didn't mention his rule. Giants scored 13 today. How are they going to score tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I have a confession. I did the research.
We already did it.
They average about 0.2 runs less the day after double.
That's actually considerable. 0.2.
So 0.2. So it's something. So I wasn't wrong. So spot the lie. I wasn't wrong.
0.2 is like a decent. Like that actually might be something. It depends on what kind of research did you do. I did
the last 5 seasons.
Oh, that's actually a pretty decent sample.
It's a decent sample, yeah.
So teams that score 10 plus runs average 0.2 runs less than their average the following day.
Yeah,
that's actually, you were actually right.
Their average on the season, correct?
You're actually right.
No, just overall. I did just pull the last 5 and it just averaged it. I should have did it season by season. I can do that.
Oh yeah, you want to do it for that season?
Yeah, I didn't do that. I got the answer and I was like, okay, so I'm right, but not as much as I thought. But regardless, I make this San Fran minus 110 also.
Spoon. So someone actually asked, is Robbie Ray a strikeout pitcher? Not really, right? Is he?
At this point in his career, he's not as much. I don't have his K numbers in front of me. Toast, am I talking out of my ass? I feel like the Ks have gone down.
No, it's like 20. It's like barely 20%. It's not.
He's like a control guy, right?
No, not really. He's
a lack of control guy sometimes.
What are you talking about? He's like a whatever, yo. What do you like?
He gets a lot of swinging. He has a lot of control issues. He has almost a 12% or 11.5 walk rate. The issue is that the good thing is that he gets a lot of swinging miss.
So he's a strikeout guy then.
Well, he doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but yes, he gets a lot of swinging miss.
Not as of late.
Swinging.
Those are
stuff
less than 20% of the lineup.
I know,
swinging
but
strike percentage eventually translates to strikeout.
Exactly.
Strikeout numbers have gone down.
I'm just telling you what his numbers
are. You have Robbie Ray going out there. He's pitching very well, especially out there on the West Coast. We look at his last 5 starts, 1.71 ERA. I think he can still go out there versus this Padres offense that appears to have caught a little bit of fire and have another good game. This Giants team, like the Brewers punted on 3rd down today. They took their starter out at the end, brought a AAA guy up that wasn't pitching well. That was the easiest win you're going to get all season for the Giants. So I think they're in a good situation, not having to burn any of their arms. I really like the Giants too. The first 5 numbers sitting plus 100. I do think there's a considerable pitching advantage with Robbie Ray over JP Sears. And then once we get into that bullpen, maybe that disappears some, but the way that the Padres bullpen is taxed, I don't really think that's true. I like that number sitting at plus 110 that I can get with the Giants. I haven't pressed it yet, but I'd play it.
I can't get there with you guys, but I wouldn't be on the Padres. I'd probably go here with the Padres bullpen situation. The Padres are hitting right now. Tatis is barreling the ball up. Machado is hitting. Toast is even sending GIFs. Crone zone for Cronenworth.
That was a hell of a play. Are you kidding me?
This is just the type of baseball fan Toast is. Literally a month ago on this show, someone brought up Cronenworth. Toast was like, you'll never hear me gassing up Cronenworth. And then today in the chat, he sends a clip of Cronenworth with the caption in all capital letters, Crone zone.
Hey, it's not. Hey, I don't make the rules. You can hit it anywhere. You can't hit it to the Crone zone. I don't make those rules.
Oh, now you like him. A month ago, you were fucking shitting on him.
Yeah, because he was terrible. He needed to hear it. On TV Jones. They need to hear it, don't they, TV Jones?
Crone zone.
They do.
Even gave him a nickname, Crone Zone.
I didn't give him that name.
Spoon, Brian Wu on the road. Say anything more?
I don't think you have to. I made the Dodgers -1. I played it at -102. I took a plus 146, minus 1.5, and like a minus 146 money line. Bet them both equally. I think the Dodgers win this game handily. Brian Wu, we've seen it on the road all season. This guy is just Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He pitches great at home and then just disappears on the road. This Dodgers offense, yes, they've struggled a little bit over the last month of the season, but I don't think any of us have a question which is the better offense in this game. Sasaki, he's a little bit up and down himself, but I think he can handle the Seattle offense. I like the Dodgers handily tomorrow.
Toaster, are you and I find the Brian Wu home away splits a little extra. Like, there's no way this guy just forgets how to pitch on the road. I think there is a little bit of variance and randomness in there, but it keeps happening. So at some point, maybe there's just no way this dude forgets how to pitch in a different ballpark. That doesn't make sense to me. I think that if the season was to go on for like 4 years, that would actually be like even itself out. And we will find out that Brian Wu isn't Patrick Corbin on the road. I think the splits are a little extreme. But again, he keeps getting hit up every time on the road. So who am I even to say shit? Toast?
I mean, I went on that same rant that you just did literally 5 days ago against Texas. And I felt the exact same way. I thought that obviously, yes, he had been getting hit up on the road, but I figured that sooner or later it was going to figure itself out. He can't continue to be this terrible. He gave up 5 right away. And as far as home and a road, it's like in his career, he's definitely been worse on the road, but in 2025 and in 2024, it definitely wasn't nearly as drastic as what we're seeing. He has been worse, but not nearly as drastic. But yeah, I've already bet the Dodgers here. Whatever, I think 140. I can't remember what the number was. 145, 150, something like that. I know that we had a little bit of issue with Roki in Chicago, but I still think that he's pitching really, really well. I mean, I know that the San Diego start wasn't great, but that's also a San Diego team that saw him twice in a row, and they have seen him a lot since he's came over from Japan. But I do think that going on the road in Queens and in New York City definitely put some confidence back in him. I think that he can continue to pitch well against a Seattle team that happened to show up one night in LA. And then besides that, they've been absolutely pissed. I just don't understand. I have the Dodgers at close to minus 180. The only person that's not going to be available in the Dodgers bullpen is, I think, Alec Vesia is on back-to-back days. Maybe not Diaz because he's just
not going to pitch. He just came
back from injury and he pitched tonight. But regardless, you're still going to have everybody else behind him. I just don't see where Seattle has anywhere close to an advantage in this baseball game.
Come on, TV Jones. I want to bet the Mariners.
Sauce, this is your golden rule.
No, I'm good. It would only be...
Sasaki sucks, dude.
I mean,
no.
Sasaki's been decent lately. I will say, in your defense, I do this Dodgers minus 125.
Guys,
so
I just feel like if we take a step back and just take these home away splits, and it's Brian Wu against Sasaki, and I'm getting plus 140. He's way better than Sasaki.
What would you make this on a neutral? I'm just curious in your head really quickly. I know you haven't had time to look at it deeply.
Pick.
What would you be?
Seattle minus 105, Dodgers plus 104.
Whoa.
I also don't think I don't think the Mariners bats are nearly as bad as their numbers show. There's a lot of talent in that lineup.
Yeah. Seattle's kind of an enigma in general. I don't think that they're nearly as bad as what they've shown, but they are just awful. Anyway.
If we take a step back and look, it's Brian Wu. We know how good he is. He's been terrible on the road. I get it. But we know how good he is. The Mariners lineup, I know that they've struggled for a lot of this year, but if you look at the lineup, it's not a bad lineup. They make plus 140 against Sasaki. He cries. Where are you at, TV Jones?
Yeah, you got to play the over half a tier shed just as a hedge in case he gets shelled. But I kind of like the Dodgers first 5. I do like what Sasaki's. I like what Sasaki's been doing lately. The last 2, I mean, he played comparable offenses, the Yankees and the Mets. No offense, but it's comparable. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned off of a solo shot, struck out 9 against your Mets, and then against the Yankees, 5 2/3, 0 earned, 5 Ks, 5 hits. So he's been fine in the last 2. Those were on the road. I mean, they won at home against the Dodgers and Rockies. He did give up some runs there, but he has flashes of being good. This Seattle offense isn't good, like he'd said. I mean, 2 earned, 1 earned, 1 earned, 3-0, 3-0, 1-2-1 off of the last 10 righty starters they've seen. They're not really getting to anybody, and that's Kumar Rocker, Brady Singer, Eovaldi, Landon Rupp, Griffin Jackson, Nick Martinez, Jansen Junk. I mean, it's not a who's who of arms. So I think he'll be fine tomorrow. And I think Brian Wu gets hit up by this Dodgers offense. They're starting to come around a little bit here. So give me Sasaki first 5, minus 106 on the run line.
I stopped listening a while ago. I bet Mariners money on.
I knew that was going to happen. I was reading the comments, and everybody's like, "Are you smoking crack, Kyle? Have you watched baseball, Kyle?" I was like, "There's a money line coming."
Since the start of June, Wu has a 5.78 ERA. That's home and road splits.
Is that how good you think he is?
We all just took L's, guys.
Looking at it.
I know. Well, do you think Sasaki's better than him, Spoon?
I don't think there's a giant gap. I think Brian Wu's a better pitcher than Sasaki overall, but I think the Dodgers have a better bullpen and have a better offense behind them.
I don't know if they have a better bullpen tomorrow. They had to use theirs tonight. All right, I bet Mariners.
Good luck with your bet.
I don't need luck. Sasaki's getting smoked. All right, guys, I'm going to talk some college football. You guys enjoy your evening.
Tomorrow's Legeza Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when's the Line Lab on, Jones?
10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Spooner's going to join me. We'll go over the games, and then you guys can take it away.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, John Legaze is on here, so Trevor and Spoon won't be on. So if you want to check there, they'll be on Trevor's channel, which is called Line Labs. Just type in Line Labs to YouTube. You'll find it. All right, guys.
Protection for your coolies tomorrow, guys. Have
Yeah,
a good night.
Oh, yeah. I said I had a coolie joke. Brian Wu is the coolie looking for the finger, and I'm the finger.
And I'm the finger. Still the wildest thing said on this channel. All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Later, guys.
Let me text Duck. Yeah, no. Here we are. Game 12. Here we go. College football locked and loaded. Talking some Chris Creighton. All right. Let's set it up. I'm supposed to text Duck and give him a few minutes heads up, and then I get so into the baseball show that I forgot to let him know. I told him 1:15 though, so we're kind of right on time. All right, well, while we're waiting for Duck, I could go ahead and go through Eastern Michigan. So Duck's going to take us through Sacramento State. They were an FCS program. It's their first year in the FBS. I'm not a big FCS guy. I follow it very casually. So he's going to take us through Sacramento. Oh, there he is right here. Doing well. Finally, things are going my way. Baseball. I had such a terrible spring, but the last couple weeks, the pendulum's swinging back my way, and it feels good.
Baseball is such a grind. It's so hard. You could easily lose 8 of 10, and it's just part of the deal. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's no other sport with that type of variance where, like, in college football, Akron is not going to beat Ohio State 35-0. It's just not going to happen. But the Pirates could beat the Dodgers 9-1. Like, anybody could beat anybody. Could be a blowout. There's just such a crazy amount of variance. But all right. So first on the board. So SMU, let's queue up for Friday because I have a couple things I wanted to say and I didn't have my graphics ready yet. So first up is Sacramento State, Eastern Michigan. So Doug's going to take us through Sacramento State. Like I said, I'm not the biggest FCS guy. This is their first year in the FBS. So he's going to take us through that program, even though it kind of looks like it's a brand new era for them as well. Marion's gone, new coaching staff. Looks like we're going to see all they did was run the ball last year, but Duck will take us through that.
what I want to talk about is Chris Creighton. Now, Duck, I've been accused of being a Chris Creighton apologist here, and I gotta say,
as you should be.
All right, cool. All right, right off the bat, we're aligned on this. So, Chris Creighton, if you don't follow MAC football, don't know much about Eastern Michigan, he's been the head coach there forever, right? And the last couple seasons haven't been great. You can see 5-7, 4-8. Here's the thing. If you followed along with Eastern Michigan football, you know that they just had what might be two of the most unlucky seasons ever in terms of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. This defense was so injured last year. Their team captain, Dramarian McNulty, he played, I think, in 1.5 games. Barely played the entire season. Their other team captain, Mauchan, a linebacker, he played in 9 games, but he was hobbled for most of the year. So their other, Caden Bailey, I believe, is their other linebacker. He missed basically the entire season. This team was missing 3 key defensive pieces for pretty much the whole year. And it was just such an unlucky season. A bunch of close games they could have won. I don't think this Eastern Michigan team was nearly as bad as their record shows. And they can score, by the way. Noah Kim's a solid quarterback coming back. Running back's a little bit of a question mark. Offensive line, we'll see. They've got pass catchers. They've got a quarterback. The defense started to come around late in the season last year. Last 7 games, they were allowing under a 40% success rate. They're on paper, it's not the most talented defense ever, but they're bringing a lot back from what they had last year, and this is a defense that was playing pretty well. So I had over 4.5 wins last year with Eastern Michigan. They had 4. They lost to LIU. They lost to the goddamn Sharks. So
could have beaten Ohio. Could have beaten Western Michigan.
Exactly.
They were leading that game late in the first half. Could have beaten Central Michigan. Could have beaten Buffalo. Should have beaten Buffalo. So many chances to get you to the window.
It sounds like we are in agreement here. I don't know if this is Chris Creighton on the hot seat because they kind of like him out there, but I think Chris Creighton bounces back in a major way. Before these 2 seasons that were pretty unlucky, he had gone to 3 straight bowl games with this program. I like Eastern Michigan this year. So take us through Sacramento State and also share your thoughts on where you're at with Eastern Michigan.
Well, let's start with Sacramento State. So this move to FBS was very rushed. Sac State threatened the Big Sky and ultimately got out of the Big Sky. They were planning to compete this season as an FCS independent. Brendan Marion came in for 1 season, was running the go-go offense. It took a little while to get going, but eventually did. He bolts for Colorado. So they're hiring their 3rd regime in the last 3 years and also their 3rd offensive install. Their new head coach, Alonzo Carter, has never been a head coach anywhere outside of a community college that he worked at. And the move to from FCS to FBS happened so late in the process that he had already gone through his first wave of recruiting, and he was recruiting players thinking he was going to play an FCS independent schedule. And then the move gets bumped up and you really just don't have the roster to compete. The offensive line for Sac State is really going to be weak. You're getting a lot of JUCO guys. You're getting some FCS transfers, guys that are coming in from Grambling, Weber State. You had a guy come down from Coastal Carolina, but just not necessarily offensive talent that's going to procure being able to sustain drives and run the football. Carson Conklin comes back at quarterback. He was here. He went to Fresno State. I think he's a decent player, and I actually do think that the running back room, it'll be crowded, and it is moderately talented. Jamar Curtis is a decent player. Davion Godley, I think, can make some plays. Sincere Rainey could vie for carries as well. Durability could be an issue at this level. The running backs are smaller, but we'll see. The receiver group, I don't think has a ton here. Matt Coleman, Kenyon Shabazz, I think, is a guy who could have made some plays at the FCS level. TBD on if he can compete in the MAC. Raiden Brown, they're all guys who were reserves or second-team players. They're going to be called upon to make plays. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it necessarily. I don't think the roster top-end talent is there. The defense is really going to be an issue. The D-line is undersized. There's really not a ton to love here. Xavier Williams, Jamel Howard, Miles Bailey, Malachi Kindle. It probably could have amounted, Sauce, to a mediocre Big Sky defensive line, but I just don't know that this bunch is going to be really productive. especially when you get into the late stages of MAC play. What happens? The games are played during the week. It's butt cold. Teams line up in 12 or 22 personnel and run the football. This D line is going to get eaten alive. It's really going to be problematic. Linebacker group, Derek Houston and then Fatah Pulaka. They're decent players. Houston's coming back from injury, and so it'll be interesting to see how he rebounds this year. Darson Genti made over 50 tackles the last couple of years at Lafayette, and he comes over. But you're talking about a Patriot League type of player trying to go up in competition. I just don't know that the linebacker group is going to have enough depth or fortitude to really make a significant impact. The secondary has good size. Deontay Thornton is a decent player. Elias Mulliken, I think they could be okay. There's not a lot of depth. It's such a different level to try to cover receivers of this caliber. And there is a real chance that these guys just simply cannot play. The safeties are small. There's not a tremendous amount behind them. So I think Sac State could get exposed in pass coverage like they did at the FCS level. They were not a strong secondary. You get a decent punter and a decent kicker that are coming into the program. I don't expect a ton out of the return units. Just kind of a mediocre MAC special teams, which puts them about 120th or worse in FBS this season. Now, when I look at Eastern Michigan, I mean, Chris Creighton, apologist, as you should be, already year 13 here for him, and this guy completely resurrected a dying program and made EMU into a perennial winning program, taking them to a bunch of bowl games, making them very competitive. I really like Noah Kim. I think this guy is one of the best quarterbacks in the MAC this season. He's got some decent mobility, had 286 rushing yards before sacks last year, ran for half a dozen touchdowns, 2,817 passing yards. Again, one of the better quarterbacks in the MAC. You're replacing a little bit at receiver and running back. Braden Bennett's the next guy up. Malachi James is in from Syracuse. It's not a wow factor necessarily with the running back rooms, but I think they're not bad. Receiver room actually could produce a really solid unit, and it's probably a unit where the sum is greater than the individual of the parts, or whatever that saying is. But I mean, you've got Nick Devereaux who comes back. Dalen Wilkins was second team All MAC tight end. Joshua Long. They've got some pretty good weapons here at Eastern Michigan, and you get Benson Prosper to come back. Harold Mack. I mean, it's a pretty decent receiving core, and they should have no trouble here moving the ball through the air against Sacramento State. O-line's decent for Eastern Michigan. You're getting two starters back on the O-line. Three guys come in from the P4, Cole Dellinger, Ty Brumfield, Tyler McMillan. The O-line has pretty decent size for the MAC, and I think they'll hold up pretty well in this game. Defense, you kind of hit it on the head. They really battled injuries last year. It's always kind of a mediocre MAC defense. It's just kind of what you get. The D-line's a hair undersized. They had just 14 sacks last year and 50 tackles for loss. That's not a strong performance. Carter Evans is a dude, and Quincy Bias, he's back off the edge. I think they could create a little more pressure. D-tackle, they're a bit thin. Peyton Christian and Makai Gilbert are decent players for Eastern Michigan, and they do have some D2 guys that are transferring in that have more size. To be determined on if these guys can play in the second platoon, but we'll see. Barry Manning comes back at linebacker. He was a good player. Caden Bailey, he was going to play last year, but ended up getting hurt. He's coming back.
Mauchan.
Zach Mauchan is back.
There you go. That's my guy. He's good, Mauchan. Surprised you didn't lead with him.
He is. And you know, I think Bryce, is it Llewellyn? Bryce Llewellyn is back. 102 tackles last year, led the team. So you talk about the second level. Pretty good, reliable unit to be able to hang your hat on. These guys will be able to stop the run a little bit better, I think, than what they were able to last year. They battled so many injuries. The secondary is what it is. The corners are small. I think you look at Dobbs and Caleb Coley. But, you know, Jason Marshall comes in. He's a good safety. Juan Salas is a guy who's he doesn't have a lot of size, but he's got good ball skills. It's not a real wow factor secondary for me, Sauce, but not bad. Here's where I'm at with this game. You don't want to lay points with EMU. I generally don't ever want to do that, and specifically multiple scores. You really want to back Eastern Michigan against the number when they're on the road catching a boatload of points, where they are 31-15 over the last 10 years in that type of role. but I would be interested in playing an EMU team total here. And with the spread and total where this is at, it's about 30.5 to 23 or so. EMU has to kind of shake it up a little bit at the beginning of the year. They've gotten off to some really bad starts year over year. You mentioned the loss last year. Well, first of all, they were embarrassed on the road at Texas State, and then they come home. They were laying like 23.5 against LIU and lost. And if they win that game, maybe they flip the script on another game and they end up securing bowl game eligibility. Probably should have been a bowl team last year, but I like Eastern Michigan to score at least 5 touchdowns at home in this game. They should absolutely win this game. Could be higher scoring, but EMU team total should come out about 30.5, and I would play the over.
Okay, so I am a lot bigger on this Eastern Michigan defense than you sounded. So no, they haven't been a whoops, wrong window here. So no, you're right. They're usually a below average MAC defense, and they have been for years here. But here's the thing. I expected this defense to be pretty decent last year, and we never got to see it. Like you said, that their linebacker Bailey didn't play the entire season. Mauchan was hobbled for most of the season. That's their other linebacker. Jermarion McNulty, their captain, was a safety last year. He didn't play the entire season. So coming into last year, I actually thought this defense, year 3 under Needham, the defensive coordinator, I thought it was going to take a step forward. It didn't because they were so hurt. If you look, last 7 games, like I said before, the defense is playing pretty well. And the whole story, you'll read, if you read some of the beat writers and listen to some of the talk about Eastern Michigan, talk is about how bad the Eastern Michigan run defense was last year, right? And it is. You look at their numbers in the full season, terrible against the run. But if you actually break it down, they weren't that bad against the run in their last 7 games. I mean, under 4.7 yards per carry, 41% success rate per rush. I'm not saying they were good. I'm just saying they got so smoked earlier in the season in some of these games.
First 5 games, it was just They were destroyed against the run. They were never going to get those metrics back.
Exactly. So I feel like that's kind of what's sneaking through the cracks. Number one, I expected Eastern Michigan's defense to be significantly better last year. We were too injured to see it. And number two, their metrics from last year are kind of deceiving. So I think Eastern Michigan's sneaky better than they're getting credit for. I think Creighton's a better coach than he gets credit for. I would want to lay here. Is there 7.5? I don't think Sac State's going to do anything in this game.
I agree with you. A couple other side notes that I'll discuss since we're talking about both these teams. I think we may have talked about it on this program. Sac State under the win total. There are still 5.5s out there. Is one of my favorite win totals in all of the G6 this year. I absolutely am dropping the hammer on the under for Sac State's win total. Still 5.5. I've got them favored in 3 games, or actually 2 games. So they're gonna have to pull 4 outright upsets in order to surpass the win total. They're really only going to be favored at home against Mississippi Valley State, who is a team they will thrash. And then I've got them favored by about 8.5 against UMass at home, which is not a guaranteed win. UMass could be improved, and they're going to be significant dogs the rest of the way. I project 4.1 wins, under 5.5 as a play. But let's talk about Eastern Michigan as well. When you look at how their conference schedule sets up, they play my second easiest MAC schedule per the aggregate power ratings of their opponents. Look at the road games in league play for Eastern Michigan: at UMass, at Akron, at Ohio, who's way down this year. They catch Toledo at home, Central Michigan at home, Kent State at home, and then they get this opener against Sac State. Would you be stunned if Eastern Michigan was 6-2 in league play and vying for the conference title?
Man, I'm trying not to bet another Eastern Michigan future before the season, but I want to. I was thinking about taking Eastern Michigan a flyer to win the conference.
Yeah, 14 or 15 to 1. That's what I'm trying to say. I think these guys, if we get that defense healthy and if they are as improved as you think they might, I think they could be a middling MAC defense, but they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the MAC. The pass game's going to be really good for Eastern Michigan. Chris Creighton's a guy that he's earned my respect by what he's done with the program, not over 2 years, but over 13 years. I think Eastern Michigan is a sneaky pick that could really surprise some teams in MAC play.
The only part, I agree with everything. The only part you kind of brushed over a little bit, I'm not as assured in on the offensive line as you are. yes, they've got some size, but they've also got a lack of experience, and there's a few holes that are question marks here. Pretty much the entire right side is a question mark for me. The left side, I think they're fine, but all right, let's move on. But yeah, I'm in agreement. I like Eastern Michigan. All right, what's next?
So you're laying it, and I'm going team total over.
I think I'm going to take that 7.5. Yeah. All right, next up, New Mexico State, Florida State. All right. So Florida State obviously loses Gus Malzahn, which is interesting. There's a lot of interesting talking points for Florida State. Like, I feel like we could do a whole 2-hour podcast on what's going on with Florida State. So Gus Malzahn leaves, and he kind of, I don't want to say saved things, but Florida State's offense was great last year. Wasn't the offense's problem. The offense was excellent. It was the best Florida State offense we've seen in quite some time. The offense was fine. Let's get to it. So Mike Norvell is taking over the play calling again, which is an interesting talking point. The reason is, if you remember, the reason Gus Malzahn came in there is because Norvell, with that DJU season, they were 125th or something in PPA per play with him calling the plays. So they brought in Gus Malzahn to kind of fix the offense for him because the offense was so embarrassingly bad that year. And then he did. The offense was great. The defense kind of fell off a little bit. The offense last year was great for Florida State. So now Norvell's taking over the play calling duties again, which, I mean, I don't know. It's not that he's incapable, but it's just like, I thought we just decided that this couldn't work. And now Norvell's back to calling the plays again. What are your thoughts on this? One other thing that I do think is a good, a positive for Florida State is Gus Malzahn left, but his offensive line guy that was with him at UCF State, his name's Herb Hand, came over with Malzahn to go to the offensive line. He's staying. And the reason I think that's clutch is Florida State was one of the most efficient rushing attacks in the country last year. They were 6th in success rate per rush, 7th in PPA per rush. And this offensive line, tons of experience, tons of talent. They've never played together before. So having an offensive line coach there that is trustworthy and just kind of did the same thing with a Portal-built offensive line and had success, I like that. So what are your thoughts on Norvell calling the plays? Are they going to miss Gus? Where are you at with this Florida State offense right now?
Well, I think that they might miss some of the situational stuff that Gus Malzahn was able to do. The reason that the DJU situation was so bad is because he was just such a terrible quarterback. We saw it at Oregon State. We saw it at Clemson. He just wasn't a good football player, and it was never going to work no matter who was calling the plays there. But, I think Florida State this year is a team, and this is a coach that is in complete desperation mode. They had such a bizarre 2025, one of the most bizarre seasons I can recall in some time. They get the upset over Alabama in week 1, and then they follow that up by scoring 143 points in their next 2 games against Kent State and East Texas A&M. At 3-0, they're in the top 10, and everyone thinks FSU is back. And then they lose these 4 games in a row, all by 1 score in excruciating fashion, and they could just never regain the momentum. Mike Norvell truly is coaching for his job weekly, and it could be just a matter of time before we see the interim tag placed. This team needs to win, and they really do need to win now. Like, they need to go 8-4 or better. I don't think they're going to, but what they really need is they need a feel-good win to get the stink off of last season, and they need that in week 0. I'm not in love with the QB haul. Ashton Daniels comes in. He was at Auburn and Stanford before that. Decent player. He never really wowed me at either place. He can throw a nice deep ball, and he actually is a fairly effective running quarterback. I think he'll do okay here against New Mexico State. We've got Usman Kroma and also Quintravion Wisner are the backs. Both have pop. Wisner played 2 years at Texas, actually ran for 1,700 yards there. I think it's a strong back. He's really good. And I just think it's a strong backfield that'll have fresh legs. They can go 3 deep, and they should really gash New Mexico State on the ground here. Let's look at the receivers. Deuce Robinson and Micah Danzy. They are going to tear up this secondary. And then you've got 2 tight ends, Landon Thomas and Desirio Riles, who comes over from ECU. Absolute matchup nightmares in this game for New Mexico State. The O-line's a work in progress here, but you're getting transfers in from Bowling Green, Troy, and Auburn. All starters at their previous spots. Paul Bowling from Troy is a dude. Nate Pabst from Bowling Green, a really good player. I'm never going to say this name. Chimdia Nawawu, the right tackle, is really a good player. And then their left tackle, Chaplin, is 6'8", 354. I'm just telling you right now, those guys are going to move human beings, and they're going to really reset the line of scrimmage before the running back gets the ball. And it could be 3.5 yards before running backs are even contacted. Florida State's going to move the ball, and they're going to score on these guys, and they should score a lot of points. The D-line, you get 4 of the 5 top tacklers back along the D-line. Demontre Diggs is back. Mandrell Desier is back, 6.5 sacks as a freshman. McCray, Daniel Lyons, they're all solid on the interior. Rylan Kennedy, the A&M transfer, and then Desir's brother, Daryl, they're nasty dudes, and they could really be not only in the non-conference, but in ACC play, this defense could actually be a little bit better, I think. Well, Blake Nicholson back, Chris Jones from Southern Miss. I
like the pass rush tools here. Don't they look a little undersized in the defensive line? I mean, this guy...
a hair undersized, yeah. I would say maybe against ACC competition, that's a possibility, but that won't manifest itself here in this game.
And if you don't know who this is, by the way, Mandrell Desir, you will. That is 6.5 sacks.
Desir's really good.
He is insane, this guy.
Both of them, because he's got a brother who plays on the team, too. They're both really...
This guy had 6.5 sacks as a freshman. That's an NFL dude right there. You'll know his name.
I think the corners are decent. Quindarius Jones, Jabril Rawls, Nehemiah Chandler comes over from South Alabama. I actually kind of think it's a strong group of corners. The safeties are young, but played some last year. Should be okay on the back end. Let's look at New Mexico State, Sauce. You could make a case for these guys. They've won 7 games over the last 2 years, and you could make a case that they should not have won 4 of them. Very lucky in the 2024 opener against Southeast Missouri State. They trailed in that game, had to come back late, should not have defeated Louisiana Tech in that season. And then last year, they stole games against Tulsa and UTEP. Absolutely did not deserve to win any of those games. This is a bad football team. Dave Yost is still there as the OC. We get Trey Hedden, who comes over from Furman. He actually threw for 4,700 yards there over the last 2 years. They played Ole Miss at Furman in 2024. They lost 76-0, and they played Clemson last year. 45-10 was the final, was 31-3 at the half. Hedden led a touchdown drive against the second platoon for Clemson. Could be okay when you get into CUSA play, but not necessarily here. Miles Libman and TK King are the top 2 receivers. King had 588 last year. Libman caught 3 passes at Stanford last year.
TK King's good, though. He only played in like 7 games. He's very good. He's explosive, this guy. He won a bet for me. I'm a fan of TK King. He missed a chunk of games last year and came back and his presence on the field was immediate. He's a tiny guy. He's 5'9", 180, but he breaks deep routes. This is a playmaker right here. I like TK King.
Yeah, I think that this could be an offense that improves as the season goes along when they get into a competition level that's more their speed, but I worry about how this group's going to create separation against Florida State while having to battle the pass rush. You've also got another guy, Brody Malone, who's 6'5". He could catch some deep balls in conference play. I'm not confident about their level of execution in this game, but it could end up being okay over the totality of the season. James Jones is a big back, 6'2", 205, ran for 1,000 yards last year at Delaware State. I doubt very seriously he runs wild here, but could end up being an okay rushing attack, again, when they play teams more at their level. You're really getting an FCS-level offensive line. You're getting starters coming in from Columbia, Western Illinois, Grambling, Wofford, and you're getting a guy who rotated in with the 3s at Boise State, just couldn't get on the field, so he transferred to New Mexico State. The offensive tackles are big, but I just wonder, what's the lateral movement going to look like? Are they going to be able to pass pro against the quickness of Florida State, or is Florida State going to live in the backfield? And I'm guessing that's the way it's going to be. New Mexico State's D-line, Henry Davis and Kayan Roberts-Day, who comes over from UTSA, they both go 295. Gabe Peterson is back. He's a disruptor who could probably end up registering 8 to 10 sacks this year. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of havoc against Florida State in this game, but New Mexico State's defensive line actually could end up okay per CUSA standards.
Well, they lost most of their defensive line from last year, and then Vic Shaw, that was removed from the team, who's supposed to be one of their. He had some legal problems, I think. I forget exactly what happened, but he's not on the. They lost one of their what was supposed to be one of their main edge rushers already. Season hasn't even started.
I didn't see him on the roster.
Yeah, he got removed from the team in like March or April, but he was supposed to be one of their main edge rushers this year. So I don't like the defensive line. Also, this is a defensive line that fell apart in the last 4. UTEP ran for 250 on these guys late last year.
Yeah, and you got to remember, when I say it's middling per CUSA standard, there's a lot of bad. There's Sam Houston State, Middle Tennessee State, Missouri State. There's some atrocious defenses in that conference. So, if New Mexico State is 5th from the bottom, that probably means they're 5th from the top. So, not a great unit, but
yeah,
none of them are good in Conference USA, if I'm being honest with you. Linebacker group is pretty good, I guess. Gathers is back. The Sony Aupu is back. Zayden Davis. They're again it's just a defense that's trying to get out of the basement of Conference USA, and I don't know that there's a lot of wow factor, but they're going to be okay, I think, in Conference USA against the teams that they have to play. Secondary could get toasted. They lose 3 starters from last year. The FCS guys that come in from East Texas A&M, Merrimack, and Monmouth. I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of depth outside of Josiah Charles and Lorenzo Smith. I think there's actually fairly decent corners per CUSA.
They're all right.
The starters are good.
Yeah.
But I don't know about how much depth, and they're going to need depth in this game because I can just not imagine. Well, let's put it this way. I understand Florida State stinks. But this is a motivated team that needs a huge win, and this is a coach that absolutely needs to give the fan base something to cheer about here. We saw last year that Florida State put up 49 and 45 points in the first half against Kent State and a really crappy FCS team, and they showed no mercy in the second half. They scored multiple touchdowns in the second half of these games. I can't imagine when you look at New Mexico State having what they have to consider winnable games coming up against Mercyhurst at home, which they should win, and then going to Hawaii, which is a game they have to believe they can win. I can't imagine they let the starters sit in much past halftime and continue to take the abuse, and I think this is one that could get really ugly. Just tonight, I absolutely dropped the hammer. I laid the 29.5, 30.5. I'm all in on Florida State here. This is a team that is going to pound New Mexico State into the ground, I think.
Yeah, that's the only way I would go is Florida State to win big. I'm not, as a Ashton Daniels, I don't really even understand that get. I'm not sure. Well, not that he's bad, but I feel like we've seen his ceiling already, and it's not very high. I would probably go, if I was to bet this game, New Mexico State team total under 3.5. The Florida State defensive line is a bit undersized, and we talked about it. I could see maybe them struggling in the Miami game, Clemson, but they're going to.
Well, you'll get 11.5. The implied score is 41 to 11.
I was saying like something fun, like just take them not to score a damn thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but if 11.5, I might even do New Mexico State team total under. The thing is, New Mexico State, under Sanchez, they at least they have in the past. They under Sanchez and Yost calling the plays. They throw the ball a lot. So I wouldn't be opposed to Florida State team total over. I'm circling the same thing. I'll put Florida State up.
Yeah, and this is one I actually truly did bet tonight, and this is a play I really do like. I mean, you just have situations where Florida State is laying a big number. They pour it on offensively. They're a really good bully. They're 6-1 ATS, laying at least 30 points over the last 5 years. And you have a team that is desperate, and the season's not going to end up going well for Florida State. They play a very, very difficult ACC schedule. They've got 2 SEC opponents in the non-conference. It's not going to be a lot of fun for FSU, and this is a team that's going to struggle to make a bowl game, but you really can't go into the season with that sort of mentality. And again, Norvell is coaching for his job weekly. If they win this game 28-17, they might just tell them to hit the road right there. They have to put up a big number. And they showed last year against weaker competition that they were willing to score, to take deep shots, to get the running backs humming. Florida State might average 6.5 yards per carry and run for 250 or more. This is they could score on every possession in the first half. This is going to be really tough for New Mexico State.
Agree completely. I'll tell you on this after the stream's over. I'll take this. All right. Next up. So Duck's going to take us through Fresno State. But first, I got to say, when it comes to USC, I am not really as all in on the hype as everyone else. Okay, so first of all, the offense is loaded. And I mean, it might even be more loaded than Lincoln Riley's had there in years past. So obviously the quarterback's back, right? Mayava. So for those of you that like this kind of information, Lincoln Riley bringing back his quarterback for year 2. Baker Mayfield, year 2 under Lincoln Riley, Heisman. Kyler Murray, year 2 under Lincoln Riley, Heisman. Caleb Williams, year 2 under Lincoln Riley, Heisman. So quarterbacks year 2 under Lincoln Riley have had a lot of success, and that's Mayava, year 2 under Lincoln Riley. Loaded running backs. Receivers, maybe not quite up to USC standards, but I mean, they're loaded with talent. It's just usually we're talking about NFL players, and these probably are NFL players, but maybe a little bit step down from what we're used to in terms of USC wide receivers. But it's UFC. It's USC. There's 4 stars everywhere. They're great. Offensive line, all 5 starters back. This last year's offensive line was built through the portal. This is different. All 5 guys back. The hindsight or the counter argument to that would be this offensive line wasn't very good last year. In fact, they didn't really have a set 5 starters. They kept jumbling it around, but everyone's back. Completely get the hype on the offense. Completely get all of that. Here's the thing. The offense is not USC's problem. They led the Big Ten in offense last year. Like, okay, their offense is loaded. How is that different than any other year? So, yeah, the offense looks really, really good. That doesn't separate it from any other season for me, for Lincoln Riley. We know Lincoln Riley's going to score points. He doesn't need to prove to us he can score points. We know they can. It's the other side of the ball. And USC's defense is getting some hype here. Let me scroll down to USC's defense. They are getting some hype, and I guess I understand some of it, but I have questions about this defense. First of all, Jontez Williams, superstar, probably first-round pick in the NFL draft, lockdown quarter. Is he even healthy? Basically missed the entire season last year with Iowa State. There's a lot of stock in a corner that he missed the entire spring. I don't know what's going on with him. Safety Christian Pierce also missed the spring. The linebackers aren't very good on paper. I am not sold on this defense. So I know there's a lot of hype surrounding the USC defense, and it's kind of like, oh, this is the year Lincoln Riley puts a defense together. I'm sitting here like, where are you seeing it? Why? Because they hired Gary Patterson. He hasn't coached in 5 years. When's the last time Gary Patterson was a DC? 2000? I am not buying the USC defense. I think it's going to be same old USC. Score a shitload of points, can't stop anybody. Where are you at?
It's very possible that could end up that way. And you and I were kind of on that read when we talked about their opening game against San Jose State in week 0, where we popped the over, and it's since moved a decent amount. But, you know, and I will say we did a full preview on the Fresno State team not long ago. And so I like the running back room. I think Donaldson and Rayshawn Luke are going to be able to pop. I think when you look at Fresno State, they've got a decent amount of big-bodied tight ends that are going to be able to really make noise both in the pass-catching department and helping out and run support. Jake Applegate, Jace Nixon. I mean, there's a lot to like in the tight end room. The offensive line, you know, they really only did a half an install of the system last year because it was such an extreme change from a finesse offense to a more power running scheme. And Entz, of course, comes over from North Dakota State, and that's just such a culture of procuring toughness, attitude, mental toughness, physicality on the offensive line. I really think they were only about halfway there. And this year, the offensive line for Fresno State is really going to be tough. They're strong. It's a good buttoned-up offensive line, and they're going to be able to run the football. Fresno State's big question mark is the quarterback, and it's just unproven with Christian Martin. I actually think that he could end up okay. He was in a camp battle with Maryland, and it was neck and neck with him and Malik Washington. They ended up going with Washington, and then Christian Martin ends up here. But Fresno State's going to have more offensive pop, I think, this season when you get through the totality of the season. It may not show here, but I think the receivers are okay. I think when you look at guys like Josiah Freeman and Jayon Farrar, Ezekiel Avett, I think there are some receivers that can catch the ball. And 2 or 3 tight ends, you're going to have safety relief valves for easy throws for Martin to get him some confidence. I love the defense. I love Nick Benedetto. He's a rising star in the coaching ranks. And we talked about this before, when he was at Northern Illinois, that group was just terrible, and he made them really competitive in the MAC. And we saw Fresno State's defense improve substantially as the season went on. I think they held 5 of their last 6 opponents under 14 points, destroyed Miami of Ohio in the bowl game. And you're getting a lot back to like in the trenches. They're going to be strong along the defensive line. Jason Jax is back, Thunderberg, Dejan Lafitte, Simeon Harris is a really good player at the nickel, a guy who could potentially play on Sundays. Ryan Wilson, Taylor Powell, I mean, the list goes on and on. The defense is really strong, and I think it'll be another catalyst for Fresno State. They want to outpossess you. They want to hold the ball. They want to run the ball and have long time possessing drives, play some field position, get quick 3 and outs on defense, and then get the ball back and swallow it again. And I think they'll do that this season, but they will not do it in this game. USC they've got a lot on offense that there is to like. Maeva is really, to use a baseball term, he's a 5-tool quarterback. I think he's a pretty decent player, and I think we'll see him play pretty well this season offensively. The running backs are dudes, Wayman Jordan and King Miller, even Deshaun Radu. They're all worthy of getting touches, and I think all 3 can tote the rock. The receiver group, they lost a lot. They lost a ton of NFL talent and some really good receiver talent. But you've got Tanuk Hines, Terrell Anderson, who comes in from NC State. Zacharias Williams is a pretty decent player. Trent Mosley, I mean, Romeo Ison. There's receiver talent everywhere. People may not know about these guys because they're young, but there is a lot of talent at the receiver position.
Did you see Mark Bowman, baby Brock Bowers, they're calling him, the 5-star tight end?
It's outrageous. The amount of talent they have in that room is really sickening when you look at some of the teams that don't have as much talent. The O-line, yeah, you get 5 guys back who started at least 7 games last year. O'Connor is a strong center. The 2 guards, Noah and Raymond Tobias, they've got an excellent size. The tackles are huge. It's going to be a tough task for Fresno State to hang in there. And I'm with you on the defense. I do like a couple of pieces on the D-line. You look at Cam Crawford and Shelby and Zariah Fisher. They're all just bees off the edge. They're swarming to the quarterback. And I think, especially in the non-conference, when you look at their first 3 games, USC should have pretty decent havoc numbers and should kind of force the issue against their opponents. The interior tackles, you call it what it is, but they did accrue 78 tackles last year. That's a pretty decent amount for defensive tackles. Linebackers are down a notch, like you alluded to. It's not a strong Big Ten group, but they're not playing a Big Ten team here. So, Jaden Walker, Des Stevens, they're okay. I think the secondary is the same. You touched on it, but Marcellus and Jontez Williams, decent corners. Chasen Johnson transfers in from Central Florida. He didn't really play much and was hurt, but we'll see what he amounts to. The 2 safeties are just kind of mediocre, I think. Prophet Brown and Chris Pierce. I don't think they'll be tested in this game, but they will be tested when they get into Big Ten play, kind of like you alluded to. This matchup for Fresno State, I'm not in love with. I don't think that Fresno is going to show very well. I think we've got to figure out what Fresno State really wants to do here, because this game doesn't mean anything to their season. I guess try and run your stuff, get your quarterback lathered up, try and keep the game within 3 touchdowns and keep the score respectable. But, man, these guys went to Kansas last year, and it was just atrocious. Fresno State could not run the ball to save their life. 29 attempts, 37 yards.
That was also his first game coaching in this That was the first game with this coach. It was a brand new team, brand new. That's a little bit different because this is year 2, to be fair.
Yeah, but they're not going to Kansas here, man.
No, they're not going to Kansas.
This is one where I could see a scenario where USC really does put the kibosh on anything Fresno wants to do. And that pains me to say that because I love Fresno State. I think Fresno State can win the conference. I bet over the win total. I really like this group. But this could end up closely resembling what we saw in the opener last season against Kansas. The Vegas implied here is about 38-15. I could see a Fresno State team total under. As long as we get over 14.5, that's probably the way I would look here.
Oh, so I would look. By the way, on the screen, that USC minus 35.5. That's showing their line for the week 0 game against San Jose State. The real line is 22.5, 23.5. And that's the way I'd go. You said you'd lean Fresno team total over, which currently isn't open.
Team total under.
Yes, team total under. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's wait on this one because Sauce, what I really think is going to happen in the week 0 game is I think that USC could put up 50 or 60 points. And maybe once USC puts the 2s in, San Jose State keeps running their spread and shred stuff, they could put up 17 points or so. We might see this total bump up 3 or 4 points based on the result of week 0. And we might be able to get a little better pricing. But I really could see this one not going very well for Fresno State. It pains me to say, but the gap is just so wide between the Power 4 and the G6. And these scenarios of Fresno State going to UCLA and winning, or competing in the Coliseum, or playing these feisty battles against Pac-12 teams. It's going to be farther and few between, my man.
Yeah, and the USC offense has so much firepower that offensive line and Maeva is just. Yeah, do I trust them to go on the road to Oregon in November? No. But do I trust them to hang 70 on a pretty good Fresno defense at home in Southern Cal? I think despite Fresno having a really strong defense, I think going on the road to Southern Cal is different type of question. All right, Akron. We've seen really good defenses go on the road there and not be able to stop anything. Akron Wake. So I got to say, Akron was pleasantly surprising last year despite what they went through. If you remember, it's actually back-to-back years now. Akron had academic problems last year. They were robbed of a lot of their offseason. Moorhead came out and said he wasn't, who knows what's really going on, but there was talk that Moorhead wasn't even able to utilize his full playbook because he didn't have a full offseason. So
they lost a day of practice every week last season.
Yep. So they lost a ton of time in terms of preparing for last season, and they did not have bowl eligibility. If you remember, Duck was on last offseason. We were talking about this Akron team. Like, what are they playing for? They can't play in a bowl game, right? Well, they were actually pleasantly surprising last year. Not that they were great, but they won some football games. Their offense looked good at times. Their defense was pretty pleasantly surprised. I mean, their last 6 games when they had nothing to play for, success rate under 36%. Now, there's not a single decent offense in here. They may have gotten a little fortunate with their schedule. The best offense they played here is what? Maybe Miami of Ohio, I guess. They were terrible, though, offensively. Maybe Kent State in the last 6 games.
The last 6 games.
Yeah, maybe Kent State was the best offense they saw there. So, yeah, maybe a little bit of a fortunate schedule. So I guess the question is, with Akron, it really comes down to, are you buying into, okay, now Joe Moorhead, who's this alleged offensive genius, are you buying into now Joe Moorhead has a full offseason to implement his entire playbook? Are you buying into that?
I'm buying into a few things. I mean, Akron you're absolutely right. They were so feisty last year after getting out of the non-conference. They stunk against Wyoming, stunk against Nebraska, and they were really quite terrible against UAB. 2 of those games coming on the road, but they didn't score a single point the first 2 weeks. And they really did end up being okay, and they really kind of hung in there together and found whatever motivation they used on the drawing board to play tough, competitive football. I mean, there was no quit in these guys. I like Reese Poffenbarger coming in from UNT. He played at Miami. He was never going to play there, but he held a clipboard. Was pretty good at Albany. He's a decent quarterback, and I think he'll do well at this level. Jordan Gant
isn't one does something interesting about him, and this is off the top of my head. Wasn't this dude the backup to the nation's leading passer 2 years in a row? Last year with Nestamaker, and year before that with Cam Ward. Wasn't he the backup of the nation's leading passer back-to-back years, right?
He was.
That's crazy, right? What are the chances of that? But yeah, go ahead.
And he was never going to play at Miami. He could have played last year, but Mestamaker was the guy. And this is where he belongs. He belongs at the FCS level or in the MAC. And I think he'll be a top 5 MAC quarterback, but not a ton of great quarterbacks in the MAC. Anyway, Jordan Gant is a running back who they can just give the rock to, and I think he'll shine again. He ran for 1,000 yards last year. I think he'll do the same this year. Marcel Williams and Kyan Mason are solid receivers. You've got Connor Kravac, who has good size at tight end. Akron's got 3 O-line guys that started 6 or more games last year, and you're getting team captain Colin Lyons back at center. So there's a chance that this offense has some potency to it. I do think Akron will be able to run the football a little bit against Wake. This was it was a team that was, I don't know, kind of just an overpowering team at times last year. Or a team that was overpowered, but I think they could do a little bit here against Wake Forest. I worry about Akron and how they played in the non-conference last year against Wyoming and against Nebraska. There wasn't a lot last year outside of Gant, but we'll see. The D-line for Akron actually, I think, is shaping up to be fairly decent. Omari Abor played for a couple of Power 4 schools, and he's here. Ronald Hall was disruptive last year for Akron. Cyrus Durham was regularly in the backfield. Could be actually a kind of a stout MAC D line this year for Akron, I think. The linebacker group is green. You're relying on guys like Donelius Johnson, who didn't play last year, but he did play well at Kennesaw State in 2024. Jude Buchanan played in Canada for 3 years, so that should be kind of interesting. You get some JUCO guys in there, but you know what? Akron regularly fields fairly competent linebacker cores, and while this group doesn't really wow me, they could be okay. Also, some decent talent in the secondary. Amani Branch and Alex Branch could end up being versatile players, both play the nickel position. Mekhi Flowers is an interesting name, Sauce. Do you remember him from Penn State?
I don't, but I have him right here. I 4-star recruit in Penn State in 2022. I have it in my notes. I don't remember him by name.
Yeah, he actually played a decent amount of snaps in meaningful situations at Penn State. I think last year he was there. He had 43 tackles. He could really be a good player here at Akron. Caden Newsom comes in from Holy Cross, was a good player at the FCS level. Rod Hunter at safety has played a lot of football. I don't think the secondary is in that bad a shape, if I'm being honest with you. And we'll see how that goes against Wake. You know, Wake Forest was really quite a lucky team last year. Should have never defeated Virginia Tech. Should have never defeated SMU. Probably should have not beaten Virginia if their quarterback doesn't get hurt. And they just feasted on some of the weak.
I think they should have lost to North Carolina. That crazy game with the pick six. I think North Carolina should have beat them.
They had a long fumble return touchdown on like the first series of the game. Running back breaks through for 8 yards, fumbles. 2 UNC guys are right there. A receiver picks it up and gone. 80-yard touchdown. Like first
I think
first
we were
series
on
of the
Wake
game.
team total under in that game. Me and you. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that was bizarre at the end for everyone listening in, too, if they remember.
Yeah.
Wake was down at the goal line, and Bill Belichick was calling timeouts. They get all the way to 4th and goal, and then they don't get the stop. It was just disgusting.
I remember that now. I just remembered it as you were saying it. We were all on that. I was on that. That was a crazy week. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gross. But despite the luck, Wake did whatever they did. I wonder if the offense might take a step back this year. You know, Gio Lopez is a guy I really like. Probably should have stayed in the Sun Belt. Last year at UNC, his legs were cut out from underneath him, and he just didn't run the ball as much. Maybe we see that change. Rob Easel comes in as OC, and he was Gio's OC at South Alabama, so there is some familiarity with the system. Huge loss in the running back room. Damon Claiborne is a guy that is going to be really difficult to replace. And now this year's running back room for Wake Forest, you've got guys like Sawyer Seidel, who comes in from the University of North Dakota, and several other unproven guys. I don't know if the running game's going to be as reliable as what Wake Forest relied on it last year. Decent receiver group. Cam Shanks is a decent receiver. Chase Tyler and Carlos Hernandez are good players. And I think if the rhythm with the QB is there, could kind of be a fun pass game unit. You know, we really saw that mature with Gio Lopez at South Alabama, where once he got his receivers in there and they could connect on the deep shots and really stretch the defense, South Alabama had a pretty fun offense. So there's some potential that it could be similar in nature to that, but I'm not going to say it's going to be that way, particularly in week 1. The O-line could struggle early, and I think that is something that could play out in this game against Akron's front. You've got Weber State center Will Way, who comes in. Both guards, George Stee and Clinton Richard, they got some decent experience. But let's look at the tackles here. You've got New Hampshire's left tackle who comes in. We'll see how that goes. But in this system, it's actually the right tackle that's going to be most important because Gio Lopez is left-handed, so the right tackle is actually the blindside tackle. You've got Elliot Termaine. He's a redshirt freshman. He played 4 games last year. And then you've got a backup who transferred in from LSU. Not extremely strong at the tackle positions here, so that could be a problem early for Wake Forest until they figure out the pass pro. Defense, I think the defensive line could be feisty. They return all 4 starters from a unit that registered 30 sacks and 96 tackles for loss last year. Gabe Kershey, Dallas, Afalava, Langston Hardy, and Zach Loavichin. That's a tough name to say. Loavichin. They're all back along the D-line, and it was a D-line that overperformed last year, so I don't know if they're going to have as much havoc as they generated last season, but that's 4 guys that played together last year, so we'll see. Linebacker group could end up shaking out okay. Aiden Hall made 73 tackles last year. Braylon Johnson was good against the run and also in pass coverage. I think he had a pretty decent amount of pass breakups and made some tackles from that position, so could be okay. The secondary, I mean, I guess the book is still out on what the secondary is going to be. I think they were fairly fortunate last year in kind of some of their game flow situations and how that played out against the pass. Deuce Blades and Trayvon West are decent corners. The safeties have some experience and have been in the system a while. Miles Turpin is back. Davon Patterson. So there is talent there. They didn't give up. They didn't give up a lot of explosiveness, but the secondary, they only also had 4 interceptions. So we'll see if there's improvement or if they take a step back. I don't know. I kind of think this is just a middling secondary this year for Wake Forest. I really don't know what I like in this game, Sauce, because I could see Akron going down here to Wake Forest and have it not go very well. I could see this end up playing out how Wake Forest's first game of the season last year played out against Kennesaw State, where it was airtight and they almost lost. You said something early, and that was Wake Forest team total under, and that was such a good bet last year despite our horrific beat against UNC. I'm kind of looking that way. If we get 35.5 or so, I wouldn't mind taking a stab on the Wake team total under.
I don't hate that. I was leaning towards the Akron side in this one, but this Wake team, was last year, the team we saw was so unlike what I was expecting that this whole team with Dicker, it's just got me scratching my head. I still don't understand how the defense was quite this good last year. And I mean, they went from legitimately, they were 136th in success rate defensively the year before to 10th in his first year. And part of me just wants to call bullshit on that. Like, it was so strong, this defense. If you look at the talent there, I just don't think it could be that good again. And I don't really have anything on paper that leads me to believe this is the correct opinion, but I kind of just want to call bullshit on Wake and take Akron plus the points. I agree with your stance on Gio Lopez. He kind of got the blame kind of went elsewhere. The offensive line was terrible at North Carolina, to be fair to him, but he didn't get any of the blame. I didn't think he was very good either. I kind of wanted to go here, but this game, I kind of just had a big question mark, and I was just interested to hear where you would take it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I will be honest with you, too. Wake Forest did give up 53 red zone attempts last year. Now, they were excellent in the red zone defensively. They only allowed 25 touchdowns. 47% of their red zone trips resulted in touchdowns. 18 times they forced field goals, and they turned their opponents away empty-handed 10 other times. So you look at red zone defense, that was really critical because they gave up a decent amount of yards. It wasn't horrific, but they did give up a decent amount of yardage in some of their games, and it was really them bowing up in the red zone and forcing stops. We'll see if that translates when they get into ACC play this season. I'm a seller on Wake Forest. I did bet their win total under, and I just don't think that the sustainability of the way that they won football games is something that's able to be replicated. They were so fortunate in so many games, and it was just week after week. It was unbelievable to see this team pull out these miracle wins. I don't see it this year, to be honest with you. I think this team does take a step back. This game against Akron, Akron was so bad at the beginning of last year. Again, they didn't score in the first couple of games, and they couldn't get stops against UAB. So theoretically, they should win this game comfortably, but I would tend to think that maybe Akron goes in there and runs the ball a little bit with Gant and maybe lean in a little bit on the experienced O-line they have, try to keep this game low scoring and play some field position. I wouldn't be stunned at all if this was 31-14.
I want to take
31-10.
I think Moorhead's tricky enough to draw something up that's got Dicker scratching his head. I wouldn't be surprised if Akron's winning this game at half. I'd be surprised if they won this outright, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a close game down to the wire. I want to take Akron. Another team, though, in Wake where we didn't speak beforehand and we kind of share the same thoughts, which I like. Duck, where can they find you?
Action Network. We are starting our off-season conference preview series that a lot of those have already started dropping. So there's a lot of fun activity there, both written and podcast form. VSiN Betting Podcast. I do the Bet US show on Tuesday and Wednesdays in the fall. I'm on your program twice a week. There's a ton of places that you can find me, along with Twitter at Step on a Duck, if you want to talk some college football this fall.
Yeah, the best is just to give him a follow. That's his handle on the screen. He'll tweet out when he's doing this. He's everywhere. You see him on shows all the time. So it's a great follow. Make sure you show him some support. Duck, thanks for joining. I will text you. I'm going to be up late, so you'll wake up to a text tomorrow morning with the lineup for Friday. So Doug
Can't wait, my man. Yeah.
Doug will be back Friday. We're going to do some future games. I think we're going to do Georgia, Arkansas, some fun ones for Friday. SMU, we're going to do that game. So, yeah, everyone, enjoy your Thursday. Make sure you bet responsibly. See you all tomorrow.